Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Ovatime with B and T. And finally, D is here. Or
he's here. D is here.
Sorry. You just had to go and ruin it. The homie Dave is here. Give it up for homie
the
Big
piano
Dave.
Man. He was just giving us some Oscar Peters.
Right, we're finally glad to have you in studio.
Thanks. It's good to be back. Well, hey, it's good to be back in the studio, man. I'm always ready to be on the pod.
Hey, when was the last time you were on the pod? Like week 10?
Oh, last season. Yeah.
Nah, pretty sure it was right after the draft. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, no, you were in the draft. Okay, so that was
yeah.
Technically.
Yeah. 2021 for sure. Definitely.
Yeah. Quick, give us for those who don't know who Oscar Peters is, give us a good 1 minute.
Oscar Peterson is a Canadian musician.
The person in the back behind him.
Yeah, the person in the back in this picture here. So he was like my first introduction to jazz music, and so I really always aspired to be like him and so he has a song called When Summer Comes, which is like probably one of my favorite songs of all time. Maybe I'll have it at my wedding, maybe I won't, who knows, if I do get married, it will be on the pod, I'm sure. So
we'll live stream it from here. Overtime with VT and D. Yeah, no, that's cool, man. I appreciate it. I just wanted, for those who don't know, on YouTube as well as on for those who are listening, I never knew who Oscar Peterson was, and
I didn't either.
We try to educate people here.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. Yes, sir.
But I'm taking over, Brandon. You already know what it is. As Brandon said, Overtime with B, T, and D is back in full effect. The whole squad is here. Avengers assemble. We got the Soul, the Spirit Ring. What else is there?
Smith said ring.
Did I say ring? I mean the jewel.
You mean the Mind Stone?
The Infinity Stone.
Yeah, the stone.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we're all here, right? We're all the gauntlet kind of thing. Whatever.
We are the gauntlet.
Yeah, we are the gauntlet.
Yeah, nice.
Look at his face. Anyways, so
he doesn't want to be on the gauntlet.
We want to thank everybody for coming back. We're in episode 2, which is technically week 2 of the NFL season. A lot of ups, a lot of downs, a lot of disappointments, a lot of vindications, I guess you could say, a lot of redemptions for certain players. And I guess since Dave is here, I feel like
why not start with the biggest game of the season so far? Happened to be the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Baltimore Ravens. The Chiefs were in Baltimore and they lost 36.
That is correct.
To 35. And it was a barn burner of a game
in the beginning.
Talk to us.
Here's what I was saying.
We were watching. Me and Dave were watching the game together over Discord. So talk to us.
That's right. Thanks. Shout out to TSN. Honestly, I think for me, I'm having a hard time with being really super comfortable with the win because it didn't come by Lamar's arm, and I think that is going to as much as he needs all of his tools to be successful. He's going to have to really figure out a way to sit back there and get some throws off. But hey, you know what? Those legs work. And that boy can make people miss like no one else. And, there's a reason why he's in top 5 in rushing for the season right now. And he showed it on Sunday. Sorry, Sunday.
Yeah, Sunday,
yeah.
That power option killed them. That entire third quarter and little bit of the fourth, they just decided, we're down 11, which, by the way, he has a horrible win streak when it comes to being down by 10 or more. But they decide to stay with the run, that power option, where it's he's holding it, depending on how the defense moves, pulls it in, and then bolts is
he's got the acceleration to do it, so you might as well make use of it. You know what I mean?
They did a good job of keeping Chris Jones at bay for the most part. I don't think I heard his name a lot. Sorry, Tim. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, and the thing is that I don't know if it's me, but usually they obviously say whenever a mobile quarterback gets to the NFL, you look at your Jalen Hurts, you look at your Tebow. You're not gonna be as mobile as possible, compared to the college leagues. But
I think what they say is their first instinct, if the first read isn't there, they go for the scramble. and they don't really go through their progressions like they should when they get to this level.
But I'm just even saying, like, athleticism alone. Like, you'll think that, okay, you've reached the NFL stage, you shouldn't be able to do to NFL defensive, DBs or even linemen or even linebackers what you're doing to college linebackers and college defensive players. Yeah. But I'm seeing Lamar Jackson get better even when it comes to the scrambling, because a lot of that scrambling, a lot of those yards that he got were not swing routes or were not like out. It was right up the middle, and he was literally he was pulling Barry Sanders' moves on, albeit
he is the reincarnation of LaDainian Tomlinson. So
let me put some respect on it, David.
Vic, he's the better Mike Vick.
Okay?
LaDainian Tomlinson with the green light to throw.
Stop it. It's Cordell Stewart, right? The Steelers quarterback, the black one?
Yeah, guy.
Or Cordell Patterson.
No, Cordell, that's
sure his name is
Cordell Stewart. Cordell Stewart played for the Bears, didn't he?
No,
I'm pretty sure it was the Steelers.
It was Cordell Stewart, the black quarterback.
Yeah, okay.
The early ones, yeah.
He was there before Big Ben got there.
Right.
He's the reincarnation of LaDainian Tomlinson. Get that nonsense right. Man, did you those throws to Mark Andrews? Come on.
No, man. He's
QB.
He's got it, man. I think I really want him
the jump
sit back.
pass. I like the jump pass.
Oh yeah.
Because we all know if a certain dude who was playing on the other side of the ball made one of those passes, we'd be seeing it on ESPN for the rest of the year.
Okay,
top 10 plays.
You don't have to.
We actually have a Mahomes cam. We're just gonna bring that up real quick.
I mean, it's actually pretty ludicrous to me how an incompletion makes it onto the top 100 plays of the year.
Wait, which one? Was it the one where he laterally
the horizontal play made it onto the top 100? It was an incompletion. It was a nothing burger. Empty calories. Empty calories.
Man doesn't want to look at context.
Empty calories.
That doesn't look at context.
But did it result in anything?
That doesn't matter.
Is this Bob Brady?
A bird could have flew in the way and it hit the bird and it would have been incomplete.
Anything.
You're not going to blame the bird.
It didn't result in anything. You could put it on the top 100. Oh, wow, plays, but it's not a top 100 play.
Highlights that should have been.
Exactly.
Those top 100s are always questionable because they still have the Dwight Clark's catch as being the best catch in NFL history.
I don't understand why Dwight Clark gets so many references. I heard a Dwight Clark reference and I was like, who? Like, what did he even run? Like a 5? Something?
I don't even know who Dwight Clark is until you mentioned it. I'm about to search it up right now.
Bro, David, to show you how much he didn't even care about the catch himself. He caught it and threw the ball away immediately. There was nothing special about that catch until 40 years later.
Just context. That's all it is.
Oh, so he played in the 80s. All right.
Yeah, he's known as like the best.
On the Niners.
The Niners. The best catch of all time. Ridiculous. So
that catch. The one in the back
catch. The catch. And then you're like, that's the catch?
That's what I'm saying. Like,
the Vernon Davis one over the Saints was a lot better.
I mean, not even that. Like Odell Beckham Jr. What? Brandon Lloyd? Like, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I'm just saying in Niners lore, the Vernon Davis catch was way better than that one.
I mean, that's also. I mean, it's against the Cowboys. Let's be realistic.
No, but the Cowboys were good at that time.
They were good at that.
That's what I'm. No, but I mean, in terms of like the lore, like that meant something to the organization. Like, no,
maybe that's why it's the catch.
I feel like Niners fans don't even remember Vernon Davis.
That's what I'm saying. Like, who's
that guy who played for the team that's in Washington? I can't call them. The TBDs. Well, they weren't TBDs back then. But
I know what Brandon's gonna say. Well, Saints remember Vernon Davis.
I'm just saying, like, I don't know a lot of like diehard 49ers fans like that. Like, one or
just
two.
Tom Brady.
Yeah.
all real 49ers fans are like now in their 40s because like the 49ers were.
Well, that's when they were good.
Exactly.
Well, they were good during our like childhoodish, like
for a little bit.
Yeah, like
1 year.
The Jim Harbaugh run was like a 4-year
before
run.
Jim Harbaugh. I'm talking about Patrick Willis and like
he was
Frank
there
Gore.
Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah, that's true. But he was there before him.
For a little bit, but they weren't really saying much.
No,
like under Mike Singletary, they weren't really doing much.
I mean,
like Alex Smith, he was
Alex
running
Smith-
through how many offensive coordinators before he
Facts.
finally got Harbaugh.
Poor guy.
But yeah,
that was Tom Brady in a bad situation.
but
yeah,
back to Lamar.
please, yes.
Though.
Mhm.
I feel like a lot of people, even afterwards, they kept on saying, because we talked about the whole, oh well, if Patrick Mahomes didn't hand off the ball to Clyde Edwards-Helaire, they wouldn't have fumbled the ball.
The what if scenario. Let's put an end to it right now, Brandon.
Yes,
please.
but now if Clyde Edwards-Helaire runs the ball, goes down, and he kills the clock and he hit the walk-off, then everyone's saying, oh, that was the smart play. Run out the clock. Don't give Lamar any time. You see how like just one moment can change an entire scenario of situation that can follow afterwards. We've seen it for years upon years upon years. If Malcolm Butler doesn't intercept that pass, we're still talking about Brady as being just an average Joe. No, like, let's be honest. Up until that point, no, it was like if I said Tom Brady is the GOAT, I'm getting laughed at. They're like, "What do you mean, Tom?"
Well, you wouldn't be laughed at, but like, there's a serious debate. Like, it wasn't.
Yeah, all right, yes.
It was a higher,
Peyton Manning still has a case at that
exactly.
point. Joe Montana's probably still the guy. Like,
I always
confuse
confuse the Super Bowls. Which one came first? The Broncos win. No, the Broncos win came first, and then the Seattle one. Then the Seattle's loss.
No, the Broncos never won.
With what's it called? With
they
Peyton
lost
Manning.
To Seattle.
With Peyton Manning.
Yes.
Yeah, Peyton Manning won in Denver. So
then Seattle lost to Brady.
So it was the Broncos.
The next year,
and
the
then,
Broncos beat the Panthers.
Oh, okay. So the Broncos came out after.
Yeah.
So it was Brady and then the Broncos.
Yes.
Yeah, I didn't say Patriots. I said Brady. It was Brady and then the Broncos. Yeah, no, exactly. So like you could clearly see Brady won one and what's the name won one. So
yeah.
And for me personally speaking, like Brandon, you have to be honest with yourself. Just don't pull a Skip Bayless right now. Don't pull a Skip Bayless right now.
What? I don't
that Super Bowl win had nothing to do with Tom Brady.
I think the final moments of that game had nothing to do with Brady, but you can't say the man threw 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter when they were trailing by 10.
Absolutely. And I get that and I appreciate that. But going back to your conversation, moments in time determine everything.
Well, that game will always be remembered as the Malcolm Butler game.
Yeah, so, that's what I'm trying to say.
They could have easily given him the MVP just because of that play. So
and that's what I'm trying to
say. Brady
even
gave him the truck that he won as a part of the MVP award. So
wow. I always get mad when white people give black people free things. I don't know why. That's a conversation. That's a side conversation.
I mean, James White could have won the one in the Falcons as well because he scored the most touchdowns.
I know, but I will say, because I'm going back to your conversation, like at what point did Brady become the GOAT? For me, it was the Falcons one because that was an offensive performance that no one had ever seen. And I'm telling you something right now, it's going to go into our conversations, but like, you don't know which of those plays were actual pass plays that Tom Brady actually audible to run plays to James White.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about being a quarterback. Like, there's so much that they have to understand and read. Oh, this is going to be a blitz. This is going to be a blitz. We're going to audible. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, that at that point was when I was like, okay, this guy has
especially with their back against the wall.
At the highest point of like pressure. And for me, like that was the moment where I was just like, okay, this guy is like, that's Mount Rushmore right there. So that's why like I go back to the Seattle one. I'm just like, there's no amount of quarterback IQ that it's not like Brady was talking to Malcolm Butler, like, all right, they're gonna go past. Like, you know what I mean?
That was a play that he experienced in practice and he got beat on. So
all the time, right?
Yeah.
So he kind of like
he knew what to do that time.
So. Exactly. So if we go back to the conversation with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, there's so many things we could have happened, but what happened? They gave him the ball
and he fumbled. It was a great play by the defense. And that's the thing about Baltimore's defense. They are a defense that is predicated on making big plays or making big turnovers. And what did they do? They lived up to their MO. They made a big turnover.
Yep. Despite how many injuries?
Queen is king.
Who was the one who made that fumble?
I don't know. I thought it was Patrick Queen. I could be wrong.
I think it was.
It was somebody. It was somebody coming off the edge who punched it out from behind.
Yeah.
But also, how did you feel about that fourth down call? Like, did you know for sure? Like once they were there, that was.
Look. Here's the thing. What I'll say about John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh is a man who believes in his players and will let them make choices for themselves.
Darn right.
Like that is absolutely unequivocally what he will do. He will put people in that position to succeed, and he will ask them how comfortable they are with being in that position.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was easy. Like Lamar's confidence. Lamar is a team guy. He believes in his guys. He believes in himself.
Yeah.
If he's in a situation to seal the game, like, he's gonna take it.
Did they do something like that last year as well? Where they went
that's exactly what I was gonna bring up.
Yeah,
it was against the Seahawks a couple years ago when they were like right near the goal line.
Yeah.
And they got the fourth down. They wasn't fourth and goal, but like they still had a first down to get in. He was like, nah, run it. And they got the touchdown off. They didn't get the first down. They got the touchdown.
Yeah.
And so that pretty much like just put them out of reach at that point.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson,
they won the game like that.
Up. Yeah.
Well, so basically, if you're the defensive coordinator, just look at John Harbaugh. If he's communicating with Lamar Jackson,
if it's fourth and short, you have to be prepared to go for it. You have to be prepared because he's too good of a runner to where he's gonna be like, I don't know if I can get 2 yards. I don't think he obviously believes he can get 2 yards.
And I appreciate the fact, if you notice, it was out of the shotgun. He wasn't under the center. He actually was out of the circle. So he waited. He pulled like a Le'Veon Bell.
I think if he tried to sneak it, he wouldn't have got it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. You got contesting those things at the line of scrimmage can always be a bit of a gamble, but I think when you have that opportunity and the speed that he has, to be able to stand back there, survey, to see whether or not the dive is there. Right? So it's really like he's choosing. It's almost like a halfback zone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like he's like it's really just like straight lanes. He's making a choice. So
if only Cam did that versus the Seahawks last year.
I mean,
we were having a completely different story about Cam, but I guess we'll never know.
We're back to that.
I guess we'll never know.
Well, listen, if Cam had made it to the playoffs, you know what? Knowing the way Belichick is, knowing the way the Patriot fan bases are, I feel like they still would have got rid of him, to be honest. Even if he had made the playoffs.
But then do they still get Mac Jones if they make the playoffs?
Oh, that's true. That's a good question. That's good. They probably would have got, what's his name? What's that guy's name?
Who got drafted after Mac?
Was it Zach Wilson? No, not Zach Wilson.
Nah, he was second. Anyway, it don't matter.
Fields, maybe.
Nah, Fields was drafted before Mac.
Fields was hella high. Yeah.
You're right.
The Bears stole him from us because I was smacking my chops once the Panthers and the Broncos passed up on him. And then the Bears said,
oh my beer. What's wrong with the Bears organization, man? Like,
we'll get to them in a little bit.
Like, is their best one? No, but I mean their best quarterback in franchise history is probably Jay Cutler.
Yeah,
that's kind of crazy.
Yes,
yes,
it is. They haven't had a Bears. They've actually never had a franchise. Never. Ever.
Yeah, like
won the Super Bowl, but never.
Yeah.
That was off of the strength of Walter Payton and defense.
And Fridge, yeah.
And you know, their quarterback at the time, he was blind in one eye.
Really?
Don't say how much they respect quarterbacks. The McManus?
Yeah.
McMahon couldn't see out of one eye.
Yeah.
He was legit blind.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's
Talk about
crazy.
how powerful that defense was.
Yo, man, I'm telling you.
That's why I tell people, man. You? Come on.
Yo, man, I'm telling you, man. Defense wins championships. I don't care what no one says.
Defense and a running back.
No, listen. Defense wins championships. Points win games.
I mean, sure, but like you still gotta win championships.
We're saying the same thing at this point.
No, because Matt Ryan has won how many rings?
He scores all the points.
That's what I'm saying.
Matter of fact, he scored
because his defense disappeared after.
So what I say? What I say? Defense wins championships.
Back to his point.
That's what I'm saying.
But no, but like the defense of the Bears were who we know, and they had Walter Payton in the back. Come on, like put those two together. Leonard Fournette. Come on.
But back to the game now.
Let me say it again. You said Leonard Fournette. What team does he play on?
Playoff Lenny.
Playoff Lenny. What do you mean?
playoff
What team does he play?
The Bucks.
The Buccaneers. You're saying the Buccaneers have a good defense and a good running game? That's almost like. Yeah, I'll leave that.
Defense and running.
Anyways, back to the game though. The real turning point of that game was that 3rd and long that Mahomes, he was getting pressure and he ran up the middle and he got pulled down from behind and he just tried to flick it to Kelsey. And see, that is probably one of the few times when Mahomes' magic was a dud.
Magic was
because time before that, somehow he completes that play, and we're like, "Oh my goodness, Mahomes! He's so amazing!" So it was just very interesting to see. For once, we see that he's still human.
But we can clearly see that not all quarterbacks are created equal. Because at the end of the day, Mahomes can throw 14 of those, and people will still they'll wait for the next horizontal throw he makes, and that will still go back. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
back to the top 10. So, I think that 1 year, it's always like that 1 year because it was a successful. I'm telling you, man, if wishes were horses, we don't have a saddle. If Cam Newton had won that Super Bowl, everything he had done after that, he could have had the exact same season. Torn shoulder rotator cuff, lost every other game. People would still say Cam is one of the elite. It's just because that Super Bowl year for the Chiefs.
And he didn't jump on that fumble either. They killed him for that one too.
Exactly. Well, I'm just saying, if he had won that game, literally every other fumbles he didn't jump on, no one would care about.
You're right.
That's Mahomes. The man literally lost the Super Bowl the year after, and we're still saying it's Magic Mahomes, right? So it's that year that just changed everyone's perspective of him.
We all still know that
also
Mahomes didn't lose because it wasn't Mahomes' fault that he lost that Super Bowl.
Context as well.
It's just objectively
good coaching. Good coaching won that Super Bowl.
Great coaching and
offensive
linemen.
Yeah.
Well, you had to form a scheme to take advantage of the deficiencies.
Take advantage of what? No, but you still have a front seven that's gonna rock your cheeks. What are you gonna do?
But now if they blitz all those boxed up coverages, Tyreek Hill's gonna get.
They didn't take a moment to look at the statement. Rocky.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's the Buccaneers play style, is sending the pressure, and they decided to go completely against that. So I think you still gotta credit the coaching 100% for that.
No, I mean, look, I'm not gonna say that Buccaneers were not well coached and well prepared for that situation and to play that game with it, to have their game plan be what went through. But regardless. You still can't say that Mahomes, hey, buddy.
I'm not going to blame him for that one.
No,
but I wasn't sad that he played bad either. Right? I wasn't sad he played bad either. So I go.
I see you with the Brady hat on.
He really is.
It's a Patriots hat.
That's why I said.
Oh, is it? Oh, is it?
There's no number 12 on it anywhere.
Okay. All right, my bad.
But I do.
For the listeners out there, Brandon is a Patriots fan. He's wearing a scarf and the hat right now. As much as he's been talking about Tom Brady for the last 35 minutes.
No, we haven't been talking about Tom Brady. We literally just mentioned the Buccaneers.
Did we just mention?
I don't know.
You brought him up.
We started this about him being a GOAT.
You brought him up. You brought it up. But back on track, Lamar. Since you guys keep on distracting me, I do. This was a big win for them.
Absolutely.
For him especially, I think he's going to start throwing a lot better.
And since he called them his kryptonite, I guess he can no longer. He's no longer got that to worry about, because now every time he faces them, now he's like, "Yo, I can beat these guys. I did it before. I did it before."
Yep.
And whereas when we saw the last rivalry, Brady versus Manning, look how long it took Manning to finally get his one on Brady. It took him a good 3 to 4 years or so to do it. So the fact that he was able to do it this early, I think it really will help him going forward.
Yeah, it's good for if you want to talk about confidence, because the one thing I was saying about Lamar when they lost to the Raiders. When they lost to the Raiders, you could feel there was a lot of his confidence that was depleted at the end of that game, just because the game fell on his hands, and it was kind of the complete
opposite,
right?
He hugged it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like he fumbled the ball as opposed to this game where he held on and he made the first down. So like not just to win your next game, but to beat your rival,
especially after that horrendous first quarter. Where the pick six and then the pick to Tyron.
Pick six and you lose? Oh, that would have been painful.
That's what I'm saying. No, but like that just shows you how much the game really was on his shoulders. That he still threw a pick six and still won the game. You know what I mean? Like, that's not a normal occurrence for most teams. Like, especially in that to have a close game where Patrick Mahomes is not throwing as well. To be in the he's not the reason that they're gonna win that game.
They bottled up Tyreek that game. He only had 3 catches. They pretty much said, "Yo, you're not playing this game. Somebody else is played for you."
Good.
Yeah, look, it's a well-coached team. You know, we play defense, we play hard.
You hear that, Greg Roman? He gave you credit.
That's not what I said.
He said a well-coached team. He's one of the coaches.
He's a coordinator. Let's make that very clear.
Excuse me, coordinator. Headset.
And last time I checked, the offense is the one who gave the turn away. That's turnover. So we're gonna let Greg Roman be Greg Roman today.
Okay, I'll ask you this question, Dave.
Yeah.
I think this is because somebody said, or the pundit said, this might be one of the best performances of Lamar.
I agree.
Now that you've seen,
I wouldn't say as a quarterback. I'd say just as
a player.
Sure.
Now that you've seen what he could do, because he's got it. Like, let's not get it twisted. Lamar's got it. Like that's what.
He's not. It's not like he's not clutch. It's just that it's not against Mahomes. He's been clutch.
Yeah, exactly. And you've
when he's
go ahead. Sorry.
So I was saying, and when he's ahead. So I mean,
exactly.
He seals a lot of these games where like there's a question about whether or not they're going to win. It's just that his comebacks have not been solid.
Yeah.
Right. So
everyone likes the comebacks as well.
Yeah.
So, I just think it toughens you up for what's to come. So that's my question for you, David. Now that you've seen a possible projection for Lamar, because my pick for the Super Bowl is still the Ravens.
Yeah.
How far do you see this team going when they get all the weapons back, when all the ACLs have healed? I know
Bateman hasn't even played yet.
Some people will be out for the season, but when the team gets healthy again, because this is still a wounded Ravens team. Let's not Where do you see them going if they play like this?
I think we can win the Super Bowl, and that's only because of the comments that Brady had been making earlier in the summer about how defenses don't really have the chance to play really honestly, right? Like, so you're coddling a lot of these quarterbacks where they can get away with making bad decisions.
Absolutely.
And I think that it really works in the Ravens' favor injury wise, particularly when it comes to dealing with Marcus Peters' absence. I don't think we'll actually feel it in the long run. And I don't know if that's good or bad for the league, but it's good for us. So
I know, to be honest, I haven't really the Ravens aren't being blown out or anything like that. It has they were technically beating the Ravens. I mean, not the Ravens, the Raiders.
Yeah.
And then, you know what I mean? So it hasn't been blown out, or it hasn't even been you haven't really felt their presence. But I'm just saying, when they come back, how much more effective those interceptions are going to come now. When
it depends on how the division shapes up. I still think that in AFC we got one of the toughest divisions.
That win really mattered, I believe, because being 0-2, your margin of error really starts to shrink now because the Browns are riding high. But the Steelers, TJ Watt, that groin just went on him, so that defense just took a little bit of a hit.
More than a hit, they took an L.
And he got paid too. So I mean, the incentive to come back quickly isn't really there. No offense to these.
I can chill.
You should. I mean, look what happened with his brother, right? Where it's obviously JJ's given so much time to.
Yes, but he was on a team and then had no hopes of winning. The Steelers actually have a chance to win.
I would disagree with that. I mean, that team had talent, right? They
From
had
like 2013, 2012, 2013. That was a super small window. Like,
yeah,
Bro, they were in the divisional championship against the Chiefs 2 years ago with
yeah.
Hopkins, TJ Watt, Watson.
Yes, but that wasn't
Yeah.
JJ Watt's prime though.
no, but
I'm
like I'm
looking at
saying,
when
like,
he was like defensive player of the year,
but he
year in and year out.
still sought
Yeah.
attention. Like he's not like, you're not going to put a rookie to
Mhm.
guard JJ Watt. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I don't know who they had for running back, but they had Kenny
Arian Foster at one
oh
point.
man, yeah, that's right. Arian Foster was that.
Aaron Foster. Okay,
They
Before
had
he went to
Andre
Miami.
Johnson.
Andre Johnson. Yes.
And
Yeah.
a young D Hop.
I mean,
Very
D-Hop
young.
was making it. He was making D-Hop and the Watson connection was. It took them to the playoffs. So
Mhm.
I mean, I wouldn't say they were a Super Bowl team, but they were definitely a playoff team,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So like,
I mean,
people say that the Steelers are a Super Bowl team every year. I think they are.
Big Ben is
It's-
holding them
it's-
back at this
Thank you.
point.
Thank
yeah,
you.
it's pedigree. Really.
And
That's the
Najee
main
Harris
reason.
is still trying to find himself in the run game as well. The Steelers' run game is horrible right now.
I mean, it's isn't a running league, you know. It's not at this point.
Yeah, but like it's not even like they're trying to develop the run. Like they have Najee Harris, who like, yeah, he can play out of the backfield, but like he seems more like a dude who's trying to lower his shoulder and thump somebody, you know?
Man's actually a Derrick Henry, but they want to play him like a Christian McCaffrey. Let's be honest. They're throwing him the ball way too much.
And it's a lot of Chase Claypool or big play type of stuff.
Shout out to Canada.
Apparently, Big Ben is still like, they asked him a question about the offense, and I don't think he's on the same page with his receivers because a lot of his receivers are young, and Ben is 1,000 years old. So they asked him an offensive coordinator question and saying, "Oh, how have you been connecting and like, you know, how's the maturation of your relationship with the wide receivers?" And he's like, this guy said that, "Oh, don't ask me that question. Ask the offensive coordinator that question." I'm just like, Ben.
Oh, he said that?
Yeah, he said that. I'm like, Ben, you're the one throwing the ball to them. You're supposed to like,
hey, man.
chemistry is supposed to be
the
A1.
Raiders.
That's what I'm saying, right?
Raiders. Listen.
Trade for Derek Carr.
John Gruden got something good going on over there, and Derek Carr looks like the Derek Carr from, what was it, 2017? It was.
So he could be an MVP this year.
Let me tell you something about the Raiders. Okay,
Perhaps.
The Raiders do this every year. They're gonna go 6-1, and then by the end of the season,
as soon as they face Mahomes, is what you're saying.
It's going
7-9 season.
7-10. 7-10.
Once Mahomes breaks them, it's all over at that point, eh?
Yo, look, hey, you never know. But you never know, man. This could be their year. Yeah, this could be their year.
Listen,
they're in the Death Star with the crowd now. How could you not like it?
That's the only thing.
That crowd is sick. That stadium is one of the sicker stadiums out right now, man.
If this is what we're doing now,
I wish I was a Raiders fan.
If we're relying on stadiums to carry us to the Super Bowl, we've already lost the season.
You mean the same Superdome that carried y'all to a Super Bowl?
No, it didn't.
We can't all be dome. We can't all be dome teams.
No, it didn't. Garrett Hartley's leg carried us to the Super Bowl. Garrett Hartley's kick in between the sticks carried us to the Super Bowl.
Y'all never played an away game on that run, fam.
Okay, and the Super Bowl was an away game. The last game it was in Miami, and we won.
Miami is not. Miami does not count.
I know, it's like down the street.
It's
down
like
the street. It's down the street.
It's like super hot. It's like around the corner.
Listen, I'm just saying.
At least they were indoors. It was an indoor. I don't think the roof was open. I don't think the roof was open that night.
There was like a little window, let the draft in, you know. The fire.
Does Miami even know what the word draft means?
Well, listen, the Dolphins play outside. Like,
hey, man.
They're also playing in Miami, Florida.
Hey,
true.
But since we're bringing up the Saints, Big T.
Yes, sir.
Talk about it.
We had a game last week where the Saints, famous Jameis, took on the Panthers, and the Panthers made his life very miserable. A living L. A living L.
Put that W away.
A living L, not hell. L.
Well,
talk to me. What happened in that game?
What happened was I wasn't watching the game. All right, let me tell you something right now. I'm a very superstitious Saints fan. All right, So whenever I watch,
So because you weren't watching, they lost.
That's exactly what I'm playing. No, honestly, like let's not get it twisted. Let's give the credit, the Panthers their credit. The Panthers have stocked up on their defense. They've been doing that for the past couple of years. They got J.C. Horn, and if anybody knows, former Saints wide receiver, the one that pulled the cell phone out of the end zone. His son is now a defensive. He's a DB on the Panthers.
That was his.
That's his son, yeah. J.C.
Okay. What was the guy's name?
Something Horn. Joe Horn. So Joe Horn's son, J.C. Horn, is the DB for the.
I didn't put
Panthers.
Those two together.
Yeah, I was like, because they kept saying J.C. Horn, and I Googled him, and I'm like, he's the son of the Saints player. So
they're bringing him sometimes.
Right. He injured himself in the game on
unfortunately.
Thursday, though.
Well, like, the Panthers, you want to talk about, is it Ken Burns? We got Hassan
Brian
Reddick.
Burns.
Was it?
Brian Burns.
Ken Burns is a Christian apologist. Never mind. Brian Burns. Brian Burns. YouTube Ken Burns if you want some Christian archaeology. But yeah, Brian Burns. Brian Burns and Hassan Reddick.
They got that dude, Jeremy Chin, the big safety. He's like a friggin' freak of nature. 6'3", can run, can cover, can hit. He's everything you'd look for in a safety.
So basically, Cam Chancellor 2.0.
But he's not as big.
Faster.
Yeah, he's lighter.
Faster.
He looks like he's more built like a Tyrann Mathieu, a little smaller. But
interesting.
He can still put in work. So
he's not as big as Cam, but he's
okay.
In terms of stature, he's probably like right there with
similar height.
Yeah.
But so their defense came to play, and the Panthers haven't beaten the Saints. The last time they beat the Saints it's been years. It's been 2014, I believe. And if you watch the game,
pretty much since Cam won the division.
Yeah, basically since Cam went 15-1. And if you watch that game, every single time Jameis dropped back for a play action or even just anything
that was hounded,
man was being killed. And the one thing that's important, and like people are gonna understand, this is why I brought up with Tom Brady and being not just a quarterback who throws. Quarterbacks have a communication with the center. And they are the ones that are supposed to spot blitzes, and they change,
ID the mic and
IDing the linebackers and whatnot. And because our was injured, there was none of that communication. So
your center was out.
The center was out, Eric McCoy from the last game. So that communication was gone. So if you literally watch the game, they had linemen, but they just didn't know who to block. So you just have all these DMs just swarming Jameis Winston on a regular basis, and the Saints just came out flat. Like it's a shame to say, but number 41. You know how many yards this guy had?
How many? Like 30-something. 8?
8 yards.
Rushing.
8 rushing yards.
Oof. Oh,
for like 10 carries.
And he wasn't injured.
Didn't get injured. But that's what happens when you don't have linemen. It's what happens when you don't have linemen and the blocking is terrible. 8 yards. Hold it up.
Also,
4 times 2.
I also heard 8 of your coaches weren't at the game either.
Yeah, it was all the offensive.
That doesn't help either.
All the offensive coaches except for Sean Payton, who got COVID. What is
Rona?
Well, yeah, for the Rona.
That's gonna do you in as well. So I feel like they don't really feel as bad about. Obviously, you feel bad about the loss, but I feel like they're like, okay.
Well, no one likes losing. No one likes losing, but yeah, like you don't want to make excuses because like NFL doesn't make excuses for anybody who like look at the Broncos last year. None of their quarterbacks were playing. They had to get a wide receiver as a quarterback, right? So, like you don't make an excuse for the NFL players, but at the same time, reasons why things happen.
Context matters.
Context matters. We gotta think, but I will say this about Jameis Winston. This is the ultimate truth, boys. Let's not get it twisted. Jameis Winston hasn't discovered how to play winning football yet. He plays football. I'll explain what I'm trying to say. He plays football. I'll tell you what, in the NFL, he plays football well when everything around him is going well.
Okay.
The moment he has to take on the mantle of, I need to save this team, that's when he starts getting skittish, and that's when he gets getting jittery. So like that, we need to switch the gear on that moment. He doesn't have it yet because I was watching him play, and I was like, as soon as the pocket broke down, like the man turned into panic mode, like deer in the headlights. And that's where the picks came from. And that's where the famous Jameis thing comes from. Because at the end of the day, he's still a great quarterback. He can make all the throws, but the mentality is not all the way there. And we hope, obviously, going up against the Pats, you know what I mean? We can build the situation around him where he can at least shine and build that mentality as the games go by. But I haven't given up on Jameis yet. Look at his face. I haven't given up on Jameis yet.
I only make that face because I have some comments on my Patriots that I'm going to get into very soon.
Oh, that's true. So, yes, we got stomped out 27-6. We'll see you guys in a week.
You mean tomorrow?
Boy, let's just pretend that we recorded this a week ago, okay?
Nah, I'm gonna keep it 100. We're recording this Saturday night Twitch chat, and you're gonna hear it Saturday night when it gets uploaded. That's right. We ain't keeping no secrets around here. Transparency matters.
Mr. Drew Bledsoe, the famous Patriots. At least he retired. Did he retire a Patriot?
No, he didn't. He went to the Cowboys at one point.
What quarterback retired a Patriot? Doug Flutie?
I wasn't alive the last time a quarterback retired a Patriot.
Well, never mind. Take us away. Patriots versus the Jets. The Mac Jones homecoming.
It was a good game for the most part for the defense because they got 4 turnovers, but that offense left a lot to be desired because we had 3 turnovers in the first half and it only amounted to like 10 points or so. Yeah, I was not pleased. I felt like that certain points they were playing conservative.
Were they not cashing in the run or the throw? Because
there was a lot of deep balls that the Mac missed. Not when I say missed, not like he threw it and he missed it. Just he didn't see the read because there was a play where John Smith he had a wide open right side of the field on that. It was either a post or a corner route he ran and Mac never saw him. And then there was another play where Hunter Henry, he was open as well. So he's missing a good amount of downfield throws is from what the tape that I've seen. Other than that, the run game's going to be the run game. My only issue with the defense is their run defense. And we're going to be facing Mr. Kamara, who's looking to bounce back from his game last week. So outside of that, I'm fine with the defense. Offense, I need more. You remember that clip with Michael Irvin where he's like, we want more. We need more. That's what I need right now.
Yo, a side note, I am so angry that Michael Irvin was a Cowboy. He deserves a better team. Yes, he won rings. I don't care.
He was the reason. He was like the leader.
He was the leader. So cool. Michael Irvin would have been so much cooler if he was on a different team. Yes.
Wow.
Because he's so animated. He's like Shannon Sharp. He's like Shannon Sharp, but like wide receiver.
And he was sniffing that booger sugar back in the day too.
Oh well, the views of Brandon Andrew does not represent.
This is not a secret.
I don't know that. I don't know that. That's a legend.
But you didn't know. He definitely went to rehab for it. It's very well known. This is well documented.
Listen, Lawrence Taylor was on it too at one point. Come on now.
We all know Lawrence Taylor.
This dude would come to the game ready to kill somebody like Lawrence, chill out a little bit.
Hey, they're not drug testing for cocaine, man.
Yo, shout out to Lawrence Taylor. He's still like my favorite footballer of all time. But remember the game, what's it called? Blitz the League?
Yes.
Because of Lawrence Taylor's actual antics, in the game, you can take drugs to make your player better in Blitz the League too. Yeah, like you legit can take coke.
Wow.
LT, baby.
Wow. Oh my goodness.
How did we get here?
Famous phrase. We're gonna come out like a bunch of crazy dogs, bro.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by crazy dogs?
Foaming at the mouth.
Literally, like actually crazy.
Oh my goodness.
But I don't even know how we got here.
Yeah, Patriots, I need more from the offense. That's all. I need more. Mac is still young, so I get it. He's gonna learn, but I want to get back to the playoffs. I don't like being a loser.
Remember when you used to destroy the Saints, when those 3 back-to-back 7-9 seasons? Remember those games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You had your guy. I'm creating
And
my
he had
guy right
no
now.
one else.
Okay, I guess Marcus Colston is
he was
a
literally
nobody.
Troy.
Marcus Colston is a nobody now.
Time out. David, remember when Achilles was fighting Boagrius in the beginning of Troy?
Oh my gosh,
Is
yes.
it enough? Drew Brees.
Yo, man.
And what I mean, he had no one else. He had no defense. Like, let me not pull out the Megatron coverage. Okay, Brandon. Okay. So that's what I mean.
I can't lie. There's nothing like seeing a Saints low light for defense, man, because they're just so frequent.
Self-inflicted more times than not.
I mean,
what?
Marshawn Lynch was not.
Marshawn Lynch was not self-inflicted.
They could have tackled.
They tried to tackle.
Yeah, I didn't see a lot of attempts at that tackling there. It didn't look like they was trying. That looked like a high school game, if you ask me, on that drive.
They took the Bruce Lee.
Did they decide to do like a little charity thing? You know how like in baseball they'll have like celebrities do one pitch right at the beginning. Did they decide to do that at the end of the game? Say, yo, have a couple of walk-ons.
Listen, it's all been defensive blunders for I don't know how many years. Even this new era of Saints started with the ultimate defensive blunder, okay?
Marcus Williams.
And you know what's crazy about Marcus Williams? Ever since that, he's had a pick every season opener post that game.
Really?
Against Deshaun Watson, against Tom Brady, now against Aaron Rodgers. Marcus Williams is one of the best safeties in the NFL right now. Google it. Check the stats. Unbelievable. Just saying, man. So
sure.
I'm just trying to figure out when he passed people like Cunny Badger, when he passed Derwin James, when he passed Devin McCourty, when he passed Buda Baker, when he passed Jamal Adams. Don't disrespect Devin McCourty. You don't disrespect Devin McCourty.
Yeah. You're gonna disrespect Devin McCourty.
You're not about.
He's the better twin.
We're not about to do that. We're not.
He's the better twin.
Is he the one during the Rams Super Bowl that he ran all the way?
No, that was Jason. That was Jason.
Yeah, that's the better twin.
No,
that's the better twin for me.
No, he's not. No, he's not. He made a great play. He made the better play, but he's not the better twin. But that's neither here nor there. Other games. What are the games that happened that day? We don't care about the Cowboys Chargers.
Won.
Boo.
How about them Cowboys? But I will talk about the news of the week. I'm sorry for Christian McCaffrey's injury. And that's a conversation that I wanted to get into. This is something that we've talked about in the past about what kind of running back do you want in the league. And I was explaining hamstring injuries to us. I was explaining hamstring injuries to my mom and how lingering they can be. Julio Jones is still suffering from it. No matter how many teams he goes to, no matter what jersey he's wearing on his back, he is still not 100% Julio Jones. And you can see it. It's not just age, because it's only been 4 years. Like a wide receiver doesn't just drop from that height. And I don't know, it wasn't a hamstring injury last year for Christian McCaffrey.
Nah, well, he had a high ankle sprain. He had a shoulder injury. And I think they mentioned something about the hamstring, but I don't think it was to that extent.
It was not to that extent. So with the hamstring, David, you can speak to this, and I can literally speak to you because it happened to me last year. As a running back, as somebody who's exploding, that's literally your hamstring firing.
Well, you saw what happened. It wasn't even like it was on a contact. He just tried to do like a stutter step, and he was like, "Ooh!"
Exactly. And the thing about Christian McCaffrey, it's like his bursts are disgusting. He's got, just like Alvin America's got balance, Christian McCaffrey's bursts are untouchable in the league. And it's those quick movements that he has. So I'm thinking they're
like, they also need to lower those snap touches, because it's not so much that he's running the ball. It's also, he's still like those, it's not so much the rushing attempts, those receiving attempts, you get tackled on receptions as well, too. Especially if you're going up and you're trying to catch one, you're gonna get hit. So it's not just the rushing; he's touching it more than almost anybody else in the league.
They were saying, I was listening, and they were saying how he was actually so upset that he was injured and he couldn't play the rest of the season, that that was his main focus, and he was demanding touches for this season. That's why he had 30 touches against the Saints. You know what I mean? And like didn't touch 89, didn't touch 100 yards, but still like all the touches that he had were were key to this to them winning that game, right? So at what point do you tell a running back like that, bro, we need you for a full season? No matter what anybody says, availability is way more.
Well, I also think that has to do with play calling as well, because it's like I feel like the Panthers are looking at he's like, oh, like look at him, he can do it all, so we might as well give it to him. Like they probably thinking it's a disservice not giving him the ball at this point, because they're like, who else can make the plays that he can?
He's the best player by
got DJ Moore. It's like give DJ
but you have
Moore
players. You have Robbie Anderson, you have DJ Moore, you mentioned it yourself, Mike Davis. Like the team still exists. Like we know playmakers make plays when they count, but they need to be there to make the plays. You know what I mean? Like you could literally like look at Leonard Fournette. No one remembers his trash in season, performance when he was on the Bucs. But as soon as the playoffs started,
the Jags.
No, I'm talking about I'm talking about with the Bucs. Because he signed with the Bucs. I don't remember him running at all.
He was quiet. Like he only had like one good game versus the Chargers, and then.
But we remember playoff Lenny because he was available when they needed him the most. Look,
they both got drafted the same year too. Fournette and McCaffrey.
You see what I'm saying? And like, I'll tell you this for a person who supports a team that only does well in season. No matter how good your team is in the season, bro, if you're not available to take your team to the playoffs and then play in the playoffs, all those yards that Christian McCaffrey's doing is not going to matter. Because as a running back, how many years do we really have, Dave? How many years?
At most eight. Eight's like really
that
a
is
lot.
For like a very.
That's a lot. Yeah.
That's a very, very. That's
and more times those running backs who do get to 8, it's not like they're bell cows and they're getting 300, 400 touches a game. Like a season.
How many years did LaDainian Tomlinson have? Like he's the perfect example.
Pretty sure he only had played for like 10. No, I don't even think
like just a solid decade, right?
Yeah,
because he was drafted with Drew Brees in 2006. No, not 2006, 2001.
Yeah, he played from 2001 to 11.
2001 to 11, yes, exactly 10 years, right? And
even at the end, he was kind of sputtering at the end with the Jets.
And I don't remember him suffering like too many like serious injuries. But McCaffrey's already got
like from 2001 to 2008, he only missed one game. LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah.
One game. And our boy's already missing half a whole season. So like
I feel like it's the build. His build, as much as he has shown that he can do it because he did it for like 2-3 years.
Yes.
He needs to split some of those reps. If he wants to have the long career that he knows he can, he has to split some of those reps. We know how good you are because we already seen it. You don't need to prove it to us anymore. You don't need to put up those record numbers. If you're trying to win, at least. If you try to win.
Is it about winning though? Like, it's like, let's be realistic.
It depends on
what's your opportunity. That's what I'm saying. Like, what's your opportunity to win as a team?
Well, it decreases when you're not on the field. That's for sure.
I mean, it definitely decreases when you're not on the field, but it definitely goes a lot further down when you're playing in the same division as Tom Brady.
So that's true. But at least even like now, there's a wild card spot. So technically, they could, think about how
you think they can avoid Tom Brady?
No, you can lose to Tom Brady. You can lose both games.
So then you're not winning championships.
No, but I'm just saying, like, there's a potential to at least make the playoffs, for goodness sake. Playoffs, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, here's my
it'll be annoying because it's Sam Darnold, but whatever.
Making the playoffs without having a chance to win a championship is basically a throwaway of a season because you're not going to draft well.
True.
You're not gonna be able.
And you're not winning.
And you're not winning. So like, what's the point? What's the point? Like
some people would prefer to be competitive. Some people prefer as long as my team in the playoffs.
But it makes a team attractive.
It
does make a team attractive. Like your trade value goes up. Like
I think it depends on the perspective. From a fan's perspective, making the playoffs is always gonna be bare minimum.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, if you are a realistic fan, like, you kind of have to look at your team and say to yourself, "Hey." So, for example, let's say your squad makes the playoffs this year. What do you think, like Brandon specifically? What do you think your team's chances?
I think our ceiling,
Super Bowl,
based on what I've seen, our ceiling is divisional round.
It's only 2 games,
right?
At this point,
right. So, would you want? So, if you had an opportunity to make the playoffs or to get maybe like 4 or 5 picks higher in the draft, what would you prefer?
Well, that's kind of like
based on what I'm seeing right now. We could sit in the draft and see which wide receiver we can pick up, because N'Keal Harry's clearly shown that he doesn't know how to play at a NFL level.
golly, shut him down. But like at that same time, that's kind of like throwing
me
the baby out with the
big picture.
bathwater. You know what I mean?
That's me looking big picture though.
But big picture matters. Like, if you can look at at your conference and be like, there is no way on God's green earth that our team is going to beat the Browns.
Well, then you're just asking for one of those once in a generation type of playoff runs to do.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm saying. So, like, if that's what you're. Yeah. But like, when does it happen? I mean, it doesn't never happen. But like, how often does a team even show up at as 500 or less and get even more than 2 games?
If you're playing odds. If you're just taking into account odds, it's not a favorable odd to put your money on that happening. So, yeah. Speaking of running backs, we forgot that Seahawks Titans game.
Ooh, that was a good game. I actually ended up
that was a game where the Seahawks was leading for a majority of the time.
Big time.
And then Derrick Henry just opened the floodgates and, just kept on punching them in the mouth. Punching them in the mouth.
They were at least, what was it? I think they were 2 scores behind. There was at some point they were at least winning by.
He only had 30 yards in the first half.
Yeah.
And he just went bonkers in the second.
And they didn't stop. Because sooner or later.
And the Titans got snaked because Julio had a touchdown that got called back
ridiculous.
too.
And
Russell Wilson had a safety because he got sacked in the end zone, and they said it was an incomplete forward progress.
Ridiculous.
Like what?
Yeah, no.
He ran into the end zone. And he got pulled down. Then he tried to twirl and he threw it away. If anything, that's intentional grounding. Still a safety.
Yeah,
5-yard penalty safety. Yeah, no.
Hey man, superstar factor.
Sierra factor. No, for real. I look at the Titans as and we're talking about running backs. We're talking about how effective that is. And going back, we started this conversation before. Obviously, we started the pod, but when you're running the ball, just because you're down points, does that necessarily mean you have to step away from the run?
I think it depends on
a passing league. But
again, you give yourself your best chance to win, and that's all personnel. If you know right now that your receivers are not winning and they're not getting off the line, they're not getting open. You're not going to have a better chance of winning by tossing the ball up into coverage.
But I think it also matters, up until that point. If you're trailing at that point, how many yards are you getting after each run? I feel like if you're only getting 2-3 yards, it's not worth it at that point.
I disagree. 3 yards is enough. You get 3 yards 3 times.
If you're trailing by 2 possessions in the second half.
You can manage the clock how you need to manage the clock. There are lots of ways that you can still run the ball and still manage the clock. But if you're getting 3 yards a carry,
you find with 3 yards a carry.
That's 3rd and 1.
4 would be ideal.
That's 3rd and 1, to be honest.
Yeah, but if you can get 3 and 4, but if you can get 3 or 4 in that mix, you're getting first downs. If you're getting to the sideline for a couple of them, you're doing a good job managing that clock. You're pushing forward, and you're just really death by 1,000 cuts. You know what I mean? Sometimes you guys just break the will of the other team.
Exactly.
And eventually they get so frustrated with themselves being marched on that they open up, right? So,
and it does help having a running back like Derrick Henry, because that plays to his strengths, because nobody wants to tackle him for 4 quarters straight, right?
Yeah. In the game of
Okay,
endurance,
now let me
Derrick
ask you
Henry's,
this.
yeah.
You fine with that if it's Derrick Henry. Let's say if it's Trent Richardson, who's your running back. Are you still confident trying to run the ball when you're trailing at that point? I feel like the player who you're handing it off to matters as well.
I will concede. I think that to a degree it does matter.
No, I don't think it matters because I think ultimately when it comes down to it, you're running the ball. It's advantageous towards the offense, particularly late in games, because you like that the whole strength of will. Like you know that you're bursting, like there's something about like defenses have energy at the beginning of games, right? Like
always.
Like, as a running back, you've been hit by a guy in the first half, and you hit a guy in the second half, and it's different. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
I will hit you like a truck the whole game. You will not hit me like a truck the whole game.
Yeah.
That and I think that just works in offense's favors, especially at the NFL level where line play is so important. And you have offensive linemen who are run blocking for you. Like it's different than pass blocking is a very different animal for them.
It is.
These guys are so strong, they're so big, and for them they're even fast, right? They're taking their momentum forward on run blocking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a defensive end who's maybe like 6'3", 6'4", and maybe 240. That's pretty stringy compared to a man who's like 6'5" and 330, who's been playing a long enough game that he's just literally just pushing you over at this point. So, I do think that in every situation it is in the offense's favor to not give up on the run late in games.
Yeah. No, 100%, 110%. I agree with that. Like when I say the running back matters, like I think the performance of the running back matters because at the end of the day, if the running back was like Brandon was saying, like if it is only 2 yards at like the fourth quarter, and like even at the end of like fourth down, you're at like what 4th and 6, and that happens like 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean? You're gonna have to start coming up with a little more than just power eye, you know what I mean? Or like even maybe you could find different ways to use the running back, but it just works to the favor that they have a bulldozer for the Tennessee Titans who's still doing that at the 4. And he specifically has those. Remember, we always say there's going to be a game, at least every season, where Derrick Henry breaks for at least 90 yards running for a touchdown. It's going to happen at one point in the game, maybe not the first, second, probably
once he gets past the first level, anybody trying to tackle him is like happen. Good luck at that. Yeah.
So as a man like Mike Vrabel, bro, the running game.
Even you know what was my favorite play? I think my favorite play was the Titans versus the Steelers last year, where they're at the goal line and the safety Spillane. He met Derrick Henry at the summit at the 1 yard line. He got the stop, but this dude felt it afterwards.
This guy died. I think this guy actually
died for the cause. He died for the cause. Oh my God.
Got splayed all over the floor. Yeah.
I don't even remember if they scored off of that.
No,
but
they
if
did.
They did. Then he died for the good cause. Then.
Yo, rest in peace, my Neji.
Because fam, you know how much force he had to muster up just to stop Henry from falling forward. And Henry hardly ever doesn't fall forward.
He's already, like, if he leaves, it's already a first down, right? But this guy had to, it was one of those Steve Atwater, Christian Okoye moments.
Yeah.
Just hit each other. And it was awesome. It was an awesome, but like, now that's a probability that will never, how many
safeties can beat him at the summit and win?
Exactly.
Not many.
Maybe not even win, just at least go neutral. You know what I mean? Like
exactly. That's what I'm saying. Just stop him in his tracks, not just get piled over. Maybe down Swanson. Sorensen could do it from
at the end of the game. At the end of the game when the team needs a play, because that seems to be the only time he turns into an all-pro, man.
That'll strap himself with TNT and just jump on Derrick Henry. On the team, on the Chiefs.
So what is he? A Saberman or a
Cyberman?
Yeah.
Yo, man, that's just
call him Derrick Henry like Yamcha on the floor, just. Oh. Oh man, the Titans. I see them going far, but like, I feel sorry if I was a Tennessee fan.
It depends on the defense, I believe.
They got Jackrabbit, but man, Jackrabbit is not looking like Jackrabbit right now. Like, ew. Diggs was making him look silly in that first game, bro. Oh, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Like, I feel like they're a playoff team, but it'll be hard for Derrick Henry.
It depends on how well the defense performs.
Yeah.
They need to bring Cortland Finnegan out of retirement.
Oh, Cortland Finnegan.
Finnegan. It's Finnegan.
Oh, it's Finnegan.
No, it's Finnegan?
No, well, it used
Finnegan
to be
is
Finnegan.
it
Used to be Finnegan. No, well, Andre Johnson beat the F out of him.
Timestamp that.
Be honest. Was that one of your is that a Dave original or did you see that on YouTube?
Oh, I've definitely seen memes, man.
Oh, get out of here.
Yeah,
Get credibility.
Oh man.
Oh my goodness.
The setup was on me though.
It was clever. It was clever. All right.
Yo, that was smooth. Timestamp it anyways. I don't care.
We're time stamping it. Let's go. Moving on to week 3. Now we're here tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Let's start with it. The Saints versus the Patriots.
Let's
get into it.
Let's ask David.
Let's get into it. Talk to us, David. Who you got?
I got Saints for
that. Who?
And the reason being,
I think Mac Jones hasn't faced a coach like Sean Payton yet.
He's facing Bill Belichick 2.0 right now.
I mean, he's gonna see what kind of he's gonna see what scary things can be drawn up for a player on defense and let's just say he should be grateful that the bounty system is now outlawed.
Get out of here, bro.
Speaking of which, I found it very funny. One of my favorite dudes on the Saints, Mr. Cameron Jordan. Yeah. Cameron, if you ever see this, I'm a fan. You're one of the more entertaining. The man was like, "Oh, he's a great coach who will do anything to win. I'll leave it at that." As if his coach wasn't the one behind attacking.
Greg Williams.
You don't think he knew? You don't think he knew?
Bro, listen.
You don't think he knew?
He wasn't the one that he was the one that took the fall. They fired the man.
You don't think he knew though?
And the difference is he was fired. He was suspended for a year. Bill Belichick gets trophies for cheating. He literally gets.
We literally lost draft picks and we got fined, sir.
Did he lose his job?
What do you mean? Sean Payton's still the coach.
Did he lose his job for a year?
So let me ask you. Hold up. So compared to Ayo, as soon as you have a clean hit, knock his head off.
Hey,
you're really equating the two.
And deflate it for
compared to trying to give somebody CTE.
That's
what you're saying. Trying to give somebody CTE compared to me going like this.
That was literally
compared to me going like this.
That was literally not Sean Payton. And let's not get it twisted. Everybody was hitting hard in the NFL back in the day. The Saints were just the only ones that were crucified for it. Don't get it twisted.
The point is
context.
The point is let he who is without sin cast the first stone.
I will.
I will cast the first stone. Ravens don't cheat. Thank you very much. And we don't kill people.
We all know you guys were behind the electricity going out the Superdome.
I was just gonna say when we say we don't kill people, I
mean, y'all be taking the power out of the.
Some of our players might kill people. But that's neither here nor there. Ray Lewis, big fan. But
well, Big T, I'll let you go first.
For me, honestly, let's not get it twisted. We are still going up against Bill Belichick. We are still going up against the best football coach of all time. Whatever, first ballot, Hall of Fame, whatever. That's what the world. That's the top defensive mind. Either way, the most winningest coach. Yeah. Point being, he's not somebody to sneeze over. And if the Panthers can expose Saints' lack of communication in the O-line, you would be a fool. You would be a ignoramus. Not to think Bill Belichick is not going to do the exact same thing. If Kamara got 8 yards against the Panthers, and Bill Belichick has that game footage. What do you think he's gonna do against our run game? So that's all I'm saying. I think if the I don't keep saying the Ravens, if the Patriots can shut down the run game from the Saints have a possibility to lose that game. So I am literally holding it all on the run game for Kamara. If Kamara can break out and have 20-yard touchdown or actually get more than 5 touches, 8 yards, the Saints have a chance to win the game. But if by the halftime Kamara has been stymied or has been stifled, Patriots they're probably going to win that game. And that's the honest truth. I am being as unbiased as possible.
Believe it or not, everything you said, I am with you. I feel like this game comes down to Alvin Kamara. I really do, because we were having trouble stopping the Dolphins and the Jets on the run. The Jets, I'm pretty sure they had like 5 yards a clip in that.
Don't they have?
They lost, but they had like 5 yards a clip. And
isn't Le'Veon Bell the Jets running back?
He's with Baltimore now. I don't know who the Jets running back is.
Le'Veon Bell's with the Ravens?
Yeah. He hasn't played yet.
Guys are just picking all the free agent running backs.
He's on the practice
Freeman, Latavius Murray,
like the Jets
practice squad. I can't reiterate that enough. He's not really on the team.
Do you know who Michael Carter is? No, he's the running back. He's the running back. Really? He had 11 touches, 59 yards, 5.4 yards a carry.
Mercy.
Do you know who Ty Johnson is?
Mm-hmm. No.
12 touches, 50 yards, 4.2 yards a carry. Let that sink in. So we pretty much gave up. How much we gave up that game? We gave up 152 rushing yards to the Jets.
But why?
Because Zach Wilson was playing for us. He was playing for us that game.
Zach Wilson, Jameis Winston. I mean,
I'm taking Jameis over.
You're taking Jameis?
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate. I have faith in Jameis, but I'm just saying these are the trepidations.
It depends truly on how well we defend the run game. Because if we have to start bailing out and emptying the secondary and putting them in the box, that's gonna open up the one-on-ones for you guys. Where Jameis likes his one-on-ones. Jameis ain't never shy away from a good one-on-one matchup. It's how he made a career with Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. I appreciate it. Yeah, no, 100%. Right now, the only wide receiver you actually have to worry about, like, let's be honest, is Deontay Harris, because he's fast.
Mm-hmm.
They try to call him a mini Tyreek Hill because he's got the speed. His route running is not elite because he's still in his third year, but he's hi everybody. What's it called? His route running is not there yet, but he's the fastest wide receiver we have. Right now we have Juwan Johnson, who's a free agent. We have Chris Hogan back in the
Hollywood Hogan.
Homecoming for Hogan.
Hollywood Hogan. Oh, Hogan
getting a touchdown.
I thought he was playing lacrosse.
He was, and then the Saints pulled him back. Because our wide receiver core is dead. And he got a touchdown against the Packers, but yeah. So
Hogue scored.
Yeah, man.
Okay.
7-11, baby. Always.
Man. Alrighty.
But yeah, so like right now the wide receiver core is dead, so you literally don't have to worry about getting beat on one-on-one man coverage.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just what's it called? If Jameis is okay and the pocket's clean, he can make those deep passes to Deontay Harris. So literally, it's just Deontay Harris' speed that the wide receiver, that the DBs have to worry about for the Patriots. Because like our wide receiver core, it's a bunch of
Jalen Waddle was able to have himself a game versus us too. So those speedy guys tend to give us problems.
Is what's his name still not playing?
Who?
Gilmore?
Yeah, till week 6.
God,
and we're gonna miss him next week, but we'll address that game.
And after the Saints, you're playing the Bucks, right?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I'm so.
So we could easily end up being 1-3 by week 5. We could easily be.
Let me tell you something. I'm gonna be rooting so hard for the Patriots next week. You don't understand how much.
That's for your own selfish purposes. Let's not be one.
No, it's not. I'm a Belichick fan. Belichick fan.
Now.
After
now,
everything we just said.
now, eh?
Flop on
You
my
sicko. You are a sicko. So Stephen A said, something is wrong with you.
Listen, if Tom Brady could just lose for the rest of the season, I think I could probably pass away a happy man.
You wish
but
that
I know
dude
that's
is
not
the
gonna
front
happen.
runner for MVP right now. So
Front runner.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Well,
it's 2 weeks of football. Let's
that's what I was just.
I mean, we can't have our early season predictions based off of what we've seen.
I am so tired of people doing that, but I guess we can. Like the Saints went from the best.
You literally picked the Ravens to go to Super Bowl. That's your preseason prediction.
But that's before I saw.
That's different than MVP.
That's different.
Well, based on what I have seen, if the season ended today, nobody else is more deserving than he is right now.
That's the worst season I've ever heard in my life. You played the Jets. No, you played the Falcons and the Cowboys. Though that's how you determine an MVP
you play
caliber.
who you play, no? Aren't you a believer of the you play who you play? You're the champion of that, and now you're trying to say
no, when is the Falcons? Not when is the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Dave, you picked the Saints. What else? Ravens. Who do the Ravens play?
They play who do they play? They play wrong week.
You gotta get David some merchandise, by the way.
I need more merch. I'll always take more merch.
Nah, for real. David, what's your side?
The
Lions.
They play the Lions.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh,
I mean,
please.
Another
y'all are 7.5 favorites, so this should be
35
a walk.
points. I need 35 points.
Yeah, we should like it was Jared Goff's team. Yeah, we should slap them. But we're gonna see what happens. Obviously, you never know when you get a new quarterback on a new team. And the Lions are not necessarily to be slept on. They got some good players. I mean, what's that one dude that keeps doing the press conferences?
TJ Hawkinson?
Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams.
Yeah.
The former
Packer. Yeah, man.
That's a wounded
soldier. That's a wounded soldier. I think ultimately when you line up, you think about all the chips you have on your shoulder. And I assume he's got to have some kind of feelings about not being able to be held on by the Packers and try. Anytime he gets a chance,
the man said, "Yo, they didn't want me. I'm with a new good. She feeding me good." That's how he says. She eating me good.
She eating me good.
Oh my gosh! When I see that interview, I was just like,
he's a real character. I feel like if you hung up with him in person, he'd have you dying of laughter.
Yeah, he's a likable guy. Yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely, likable guy.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Ravens all day.
These are the games. These are the games that give Lamar his highlights. Remember the highlights against the Bengals 2 years ago?
Yeah,
it's this kind of game that he gets those highlights on like ESPN or Instagram or when
love to see it.
So
my guy.
Is it Ravens all around?
Yeah, Ravens. I'm going 35-17.
Yeah, I know.
I think Goff will get a couple.
They know how to do
plays.
those.
Yeah,
I'll say 35-17, something like 35-21 maybe. Yeah, like
is that like a late game
absolutely.
score? Okay.
Absolutely. They almost caught up to the Rams. They scored
35-10.
Did they score 33 points on the Rams?
No, that was the 49ers you're talking about, and that was
they played the Rams first. Remember? Then they
they only played the Lions. Only played They played the 49ers, then they lost to Green Bay.
Oh, okay. My bad. I don't know why I thought they played the Rams. Oh, yeah, of course. It would have been a bigger deal if he played his former team.
Yeah.
So, yeah. No, I'll say he scores like a late touchdown just to close it off. Because what's his name is a pretty good coach, but his team is just not there yet. Dan Campbell.
That's the coach for the Lions?
Yeah, it used to be Saints offensive coordinator or Saints defensive coordinator.
Well, moving on. Falcons versus Giants. These are like the two worst teams in the league right now.
In sports.
I mean, someone has to win.
Can they both lose?
I'm going with the Falcons just because I like their offense better.
2-1,
and it's not by much, to be quite honest.
Wait, hold on. Isn't your cousin still playing for the Giants?
That is correct, but I don't think he has any recorded any tackles from the season.
What's his position?
Linebacker.
Is he
Just
like
'cause
a
Davis
sideline to
Cousins on the
sideline linebacker, or is he play outside?
Outside, but I think he's. Let me see if he's got. I don't think he has any tackles recorded this season.
But he's
I'm not even
playing
sure
time,
yet.
though, right?
Yeah, he should have some. I gotta see where he's on the depth chart. Let's take a look.
Just because his cousin's on the team, I'm going with the Giants.
Giants depth chart.
So
I
when
do
need
hope
him-
Saquon has a good game, though.
I need Saquon to have a good game, man. My fantasy team is
Absolutely.
not doing great. Where is he at on this team?
Saquon's career is dying. The
guys-
Giants didn't do him a service by drafting him there.
You're feeling it, eh?
Oh
All
man,
those squats, all those cleated presses going to waste in New York. Oh my gosh, that line is dead.
it looks like Cam is on the injury reserve right now.
He's injured?
Oh damn!
Apparently,
Oh my goodness.
that would explain why he doesn't have any. Oh, yep. So
What happened?
he injured his hamstring. Apparently.
Why can't you just text him and say what's wrong, fam?
I don't know what the hell.
I should
Call the guy. Like, bro.
Give us some insider scoop, fam. Oh, I
never-
shouldn't be saying that
I
on
actually-
live still.
I'm
I shouldn't be
trying.
saying that.
I,
The views of Brandon does not represent Overtime of deity. I don't even
man.
know what I'll say. What's insider
People know
information?
people
What
know
is that?
page selected cheats, so whatever, man. It is what it is.
Hey, man.
That's
I haven't
unfortunate.
talked to him in a minute. I talked to his
Mm.
dad earlier this summer, but I haven't talked to Cam in a hot minute. So
Well, he ain't doing anything right now, so he'll definitely pick up the call.
yeah, shout out to Uncle Desi. But yeah,
Mhm.
Rest
Well,
in peace.
I'm going Falcons. Y'all going Giants.
Thoughts and
Rest in
prayers.
peace.
No, I'm saying not rest
He's-
in peace. Thoughts and prayers with his hamstrings.
I think
oh,
this
okay.
is-
That's what I'm trying to say.
come on. He's not dead.
Hamstrings.
I think this is a high scorer. Well, not.
Oh, really?
I think it's gonna be like a 28-31, 28-31.
Sure.
I think there's gonna be a lot of back and forth scoring, just
Well-
because those defenses are both not.
Because they're boo boo, bro. They're boo boo.
Yeah, especially with my cousin not playing. Come on, bro. Double boo boo.
I'm still going with Giants. I feel like that if you go quarterback to quarterback, obviously we all know what names can score all the touchdowns. But my gosh, he's fumbling. He's fumbling more. Actually, he's fumbling.
Matty Ice.
They're both fumbling.
Double pick six in the
You know what I
last
mean?
game. Yeah.
He's like a younger, like Daniel Jones.
Never
is a
been the
younger-
same since 28-3.
Yeah, I mean that's scars him for life. Daniel Jones reminds me of like a younger version of Matt Ryan, but if he was bad. You know what I mean? Like, so obviously Matt Ryan was good at first, but now he's becoming bad. So imagine if this bad Matt Ryan had a younger version. That's
Okay.
who Daniel Jones is.
Okay.
Yeah, no. Matt Ryan was
Alright.
was solid when he started. But I was just saying,
We also had Roddy White and Julio to throw the ball.
this
to,
guy had what's it called? He's got what's that guy's name?
Calvin Ridley.
Oh, not Calvin Ridley. I'm
Kyle
talking
Pitts.
about I'm talking
Jones?
about the new Daniel Jones. He's got some good wide receivers.
Oh yeah, he's got Slayton, Sterling, Kenny Galladay.
And
Yeah.
Matty Ice started sucking long before what's name left. So
Yeah.
Julio Jones left. So
Yeah.
it's been bad for many years at this point.
Yeah. He also had Tony Gonzalez. That doesn't get talked about enough either.
Oh, he did. He's been in the league for a minute. Still.
2008.
2008. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's time to hang up the boots, Matt Ryan. Time to go the ways of Blake Bortles.
Drew Brees.
Nah, Drew Brees at least once up.
Can you believe it? Matt Ryan got an MVP before Drew Brees. Imagine the life we're in. Imagine the life we're
You can
in.
hold that MVP all you want. When I bust out the ring.
Why are you holding up multiple heads when you
Well,
know-
if I hold up the one that the ring is on, it would be inappropriate for this channel. So that's the wedding one. His wife has that. He doesn't put the Super Bowl ring on that one.
Cincinnati
doesn't?
Bengals
No.
versus the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh,
Oh,
This has the
I mean-
makings of a trap game to me.
give me Steelers,
give me Bengals. Give me Bengals. At this point, I
Wow.
trust Joey Burrow way more than I trust. And don't
Yes,
sleep
man.
on the wide receiver core. I know they lost AJ Green.
T. Higgins,
You know,
Tyler Boyd,
Jamar Chase.
Jamar
Yeah.
Chase, who we clearly see doesn't have issues catching the ball all of a sudden. It was just the rust in the preseason.
You guys are already ready to bury the kid. Jeepers, scrapers.
Now I liked him. I like Jamar Chase because I
Yeah.
use him in Madden. And it's like he plays a lot better than Manning. I'm like, bro, how you dropping these passes, bro?
Just the pregame. It was the first game jitters. Literally one day.
Yeah, he hadn't played in a year because he sat out for COVID. So. But yeah, I don't know. I want to pick the Bengals, but I still think the Steelers, they're gonna get after Burrow because that O-line. I still think they should have drafted Penei Sewell over Chase. Like, it's cool to reunite the two, but it's like if the man's running for his life all the time, you're pretty much hoping that they make a play pretty much at least once every game. You know?
Yeah. Basically, he trusted his arm more than his
protection.
His protection. So he's like, I'll get the ball there before they kill me. So,
will he?
Will he?
Next time on Dragon Ball.
Roquan Smith returned a pick 6 on him because he got rushed. So
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Maybe I am sleeping on this defense of the Steelers. Still, they got TJ Watt.
Well, they're the best part of the. They're the best part. No, I don't think he's playing.
He's gonna be injured?
I think Najee Harris has a breakout game.
You think so, right?
Yeah,
I'm on the fence with this game, so I may swing back to the Steelers side.
I'm gonna pick Steelers right now. I say 20.
I think Najee Harris.
If TJ Watt was playing, then I was gonna say, it's gonna be another Chase Young moment with Joe Burrow. But since he's not on the field,
they still got Melvin Ingram. He may have to step up this game more.
Yeah.
So
I think Najee Harris gets himself a hat trick.
Okay.
All right.
That's
do your thing, Najee.
Colts versus Titans.
Well, their quarterback has 2 sprained ankles.
I'm going Titans.
Carson Wentz, man, this guy.
Walk it to him.
More like an injury to him. He literally is limping to him. How do you sprain 2 ankles? It's usually one.
If you sprain the one, you gotta fall on the other. You gotta fall on the other.
Did you see the tackle?
Yeah.
He got
folded up under.
He got wrapped around by Aaron Donald, and then he was still trying to stand upright, and then Aaron Donald just rolled onto both his ankles and just crushed it. And then he walked off the field. And they're like, bro,
pride.
Walking on
that dude's juiced on adrenaline right now. That adrenaline will make you do a lot of things, man. Then when your blood cools down and you realize, why am I in such agony?
Man. You get tackled by Aaron Donald. You get tackled by Aaron Donald. You gotta give yourself a double take.
No,
just take 5.
Man was in shock, bro. He was in shock. Like he woke up the next day and both his legs were backwards. But like that's the point. The Colts, like if we legit look at the Colts, it's such a good team. So this injury is the only thing holding them back. Like, bro, you were good. Like
they were in both of those games, actually.
Yeah. I still don't. I'm not a believer in Carson Wentz at this point yet, because it's just like the reports you hear back about this guy are always that like he's so talented that he can't be coached. Like he doesn't want to be coached. He wants to. Like,
it's one of those. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, right.
Well, he's got Frank Reich. So I mean,
that's who he had his best season with.
Yeah, that was his boy. So like,
I think it's just on those slow starts. Look who he faced to start off. You faced the best 2 teams in the NFC. Well, a couple of the best. You face Seattle. You face the Rams. So it's like I feel like it's gonna get better.
He's not gonna be losing. Like the Colts aren't losing to teams like the Giants or the you know what I mean. Like there's like. As long as he's not injured, Falcons. As long as he's not injured, that's what I'm saying. Like, as long as he's not injured, that team is formidable.
Like, I feel like in order to get to the playoffs, you need to beat the teams you should beat and beat a couple of the teams who are on your level in order to make the playoffs.
Yeah, makes sense.
When you're there, it's just
it's coin flip.
Pray that Tom Brady's your quarterback and you'll win. That's what happens. That's what happens.
This guy has really raised the bar so high at this point.
Well, as an individual, yes. Because like it used to be, one person can't make the team, and then he went to the Bucks. So you're just like, oh, well, there goes that argument. So, because it used to be, Tom Brady has a team behind him.
Well, like,
I mean,
once
He still
upon
had
a
a
time,
team.
having one Super Bowl ring as a quarterback was more than enough to cement your legacy.
I mean, he's also like, that team is super solid. Like, I still think that's one of the best wide receiving cores I've ever seen.
Brad,
It is.
Like,
I remember that
right now.
conversation that we had last year about which team would you take, the Chiefs or the Buccaneers with Brandon, and you were trying to go talent for talent. Revisit that conversation again and literally go talent for talent.
I mean,
I can still do that. I still would take Kelsey over this version of Gronk.
I mean, but like if you have, let's be realistic about this. Like, who's the worst receiver on that team? Chris Godwin?
Are you kidding me? Man was catching 14 catches a game with a broken finger. Stop your noise, man. Stop. What are you
Like, is Chris
about?
Godwin actually the worst receiver on that team?
Well, maybe Scotty Miller. Scotty Miller's just fast. He's just
Scotty.
Yeah, Scotty Miller.
Where's Scotty Miller? Where's he in the rotation?
But if we're talking like the big three, like the people who are on the field the most consistently,
yes,
I'm not sure, man.
Through
the last two games, you
say Antonio Brown is the worst receiver?
No, I think Antonio Brown's the best receiver on that team.
So you're gonna say Mike Evans is the worst receiver on that team?
You see what I'm saying? You can't even decide because they're all too good.
I mean, Chris Godwin could have easily been a number one on another team if he decided to take the money. So.
That's what I'm saying.
But that's what we're saying. Luke, the worst receiver is a number one on a different team.
Yeah.
What are we doing? What are we doing over here? Like,
Brady obviously won that.
Like the team was, and let's not get it twisted. It was not the same Bucks team because they brought Brown, they brought Brady, they brought Gronk. And
so then, since we're on the topic, how we feel about the Rams versus the Bucks? Because I think this is the best game this
Rams is my, if it's
pretty much the conference championship.
Yeah, I say Rams. I was gonna say Rams are like.
I think Rams are stupid right now.
Right now, it's a 1.5 favorite.
I think Matthew Stafford is. Yeah, but I think
remember that conversation with Matthew Stafford last year, saying how, what did you say, David? I think you say Matthew. I gotta go back to
has a better arm.
You said he was better than Brady.
Yeah, baby.
All right, now,
well, Dave, this is the game where he has to prove it. This is the game because he came to the Rams for these type of games. Because before it was the defense. He doesn't have any defense to work with because
best defense.
Rodgers was just running up and down on that defense in Detroit. You have the defense now. So this is your moment. This is your moment. This is a big game for both of them. I put it out there. I say it's an even bigger game for Matt Stafford than it is for Brady.
Brady doesn't have to prove anything ever in the NFL ever again. It's all about Matt Stafford.
Yeah, he could lose the rest of the games for the next 5 years.
He literally could
lose
every
still
game. Doesn't matter. This is like the Matt Stafford. Are you a playoff quarterback with this team?
I think Matt Stafford comes out and absolutely.
You think he wins this one?
I think he absolutely balls out for this game.
I am picking the Rams, but not because of Matt Stafford.
Because of the defense?
I think Aaron Donald's gonna have 1 or 2 conversations with Brady. Because if we look historically, the Rams, even in the Super Bowl, they give Brady problems. They give Brady problems. So.
Yeah, and they're lucky. He's lucky that Jared Goff was the quarterback.
No, for real. If Matt Stafford was the quarterback of that day,
I'm telling you, man, Matthew Stafford is so underrated, bro. Like, he's so good.
The world is seeing
so
bro.
Good.
Well, you know why? It's because they're saying, why didn't you do anything with Megatron? That's the main. That's what I always hear. That's what I always hear.
Defense, and they
had
no running game.
Cornerback. He's not playing right linebacker. He's not playing O-line. So
I'm just saying that's what I always hear. Every time it's like, how good is he if he had Megatron and he couldn't do anything?
It's not basketball, man. You can't just have
Megatron doesn't run back on defense.
I'm telling you, bro. Like,
he played safety a couple times, like on Hail Mary plays.
He had to though.
On Hail Mary plays,
that's the point. He had to because there was nobody on that defense. It's actually terrible.
Like, who can get a pick here?
All right, Megatron, get back on.
He jumps higher. He's bigger than everybody. So it's like, why not have him in on the safety?
Who was the best running back they had at the time in his tenure?
where they had Reggie Bush for like a little bit.
Oh yeah, that's true.
But he was like at the end.
He was
at the end.
Yeah.
It was sports analyst Reggie Bush.
They had I thought y'all remember a dude named Javed Best?
Javed Best.
Yes.
Who doesn't remember him?
He had promise, but then the concussions got to him.
Well, you remember the injury that he had when he was playing for what was this? Was it California? What was
I wasn't keeping up back then.
Well, it was because of his concussion in college that basically lingered forever. He flipped over and landed on his head when he scored a touchdown. So Javed Best
head bounced off the ground, huh?
No, it was one of those ones where the body goes stiff.
Yeah.
It was stiff after the touchdown, and they were like, "Oh!" Like the whole team was scared. Everybody had to take a knee. So like his career was so short-lived because he made it to the NFL because he was a high draft. But man,
I remember using him in Madden, and then I found out he wasn't playing, and I was like, "Oh, what?" And then they said concussion. So, but yeah, they didn't have a running
back. And
they had Kevin Smith. You guys remember Kevin Smith?
Nope.
Yeah.
I remember a dude named Joik Bell. I remember that guy.
Yeah, Joik Bell was there.
Yeah.
Jay and Silent Bob.
They haven't had a 1,000-yard rusher in years, though. So,
yeah.
I mean, look what it did for John Elway. As soon as he got TD, look, all of a sudden he's got a ring. He got 2 rings to close out his career.
I literally ran into that Super Bowl and won it.
Yeah.
Did he have like a migraine or he couldn't see too?
TD's one of the best playoff running backs that we've seen.
Honestly, I was just about to say, like, and his career.
That's what made his career. Because he only played like 6 years and he gone to the Hall of Fame. He only played 6 years and gone to the Hall of Fame. Yeah.
6 years?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
And you're not, and you have your doubts about Mahomes? Crazy.
I had issues with him getting in when I found out. I had issues when I was
Did you really have issues?
Sterling Sharp played 7 years. Sterling Sharp played 12 years, or not 12 years, 7 years, and he's still not in. And if you look at Sterling Sharp's numbers,
Sterling Sharp is not in the Hall of Fame?
He's not in the Hall of Fame. If you look at his numbers,
Shannon makes a big point about that.
Yeah, he's like, if you look at his numbers, he was right there with Jerry Rice.
Yeah.
In terms of numbers. So how is he not in the Hall of Fame?
Well, we all know these things aren't fair. Let's just be established. It's like
it's politics too.
It's politics. Like your name, the attachment, like you're not.
But you're playing for one of the best historic franchises, the Packers.
Yeah, but like he didn't carry this. Like Sterling Sharp was a quiet.
He had 18 touchdowns. He had the record. I'm pretty sure he had the record at the time.
Has it been broken?
Well, Devontae Adams, he tied him.
Oh,
he tied him in touchdowns. But...
Yeah, now that'd be cool because for some reason I thought his brother died a long time ago. But then
who, Sterling?
Yeah, I thought Sterling Shepard died, but like because they never show him. But then
because he's not in.
He separated himself from
football.
Sterling Sharp.
Yeah, Sterling Shepard's the.
Yeah, he's with the Giants. Sorry,
the Giants. Yeah.
But yeah, he since he left the NFL, he doesn't associate it. Yeah,
exactly.
It's Shannon who we see more. Who's in the camera?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Sterling apparently he's a golf player and a really good golf player now. So,
side note: speaking of retiring and injuries, did you guys see Chris Bosh's Hall of Fame speech?
Yeah, where he's talking about Kobe.
That was actually very powerful.
Yeah.
My gosh, I didn't care about basketball, and I was getting emotional. But yeah.
Back to our picks, though. We always get sidetracked, but that's the beauty of overtime with BNT. We don't care. We don't really follow a set schedule. We're just three grown men, talking about football.
You know, we would be retiring right now in our positions, David.
Yes,
no 29-year-old, 28-year-old quarter running backs in the league.
No, they're just saying you're hitting your wall now, and it's all downhill from here.
Call me Todd Gurley.
Hey, Frank Gore.
Hey,
Gore.
That one man.
I'm pretty sure he has the most.
When you play for the
starts.
You know what it do.
Ed Reed didn't last that long. As soon as Ed Reed.
What about The Rock? The Rock played for the U, and he's in the W.
Oh yeah, didn't The Rock have an encounter with Warren Sapp when they were there?
Yeah.
I remember that.
I think it's in the episode of the Young Rock too.
Oh yes, I think that's where I heard about it from.
Yeah.
Well, yes, Washington to be determined.
He was about to say the R word, wasn't he?
No.
I think there's another R word
versus Buffalo Bills.
Give me Buffalo, man. Josh Allen will do his thing.
Man, Josh Allen can go suck a lemon. It's all about Heineke.
Heineke is cool, but
Heineke.
I think it's a low scoring game. I say 21-7.
Heineke reminds me of a young Alex Smith, and I'm going for him.
Well, that boy Terry good though. That boy Terry good.
I think he's making himself into he's top 10 now. Like
building it up.
You can't ignore him.
You saw that catch. You saw that catch.
Can't ignore him now.
Yeah.
He's hitting his stride now because the last 2 years he had moments of greatness. I think now the year 3 is usually when like the dudes who if they start out slow, they either take off at year 3 or you never hear from them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know who was their running back again. He's also
Antonio Gibson.
Gibson's a good running back too. Like I like the way that guy runs. And obviously they got some good tight ends.
Yeah, I'm taking the Bills still.
Savage.
But I think it depends.
After all that, I'm taking the Bills.
How often does Chase Young have a conversation with Josh Allen?
Think about it. Josh Allen loves to run the ball. So I mean,
and Chase Young does love to run. Y'all saw when he was chasing after Saquon. Y'all saw,
keep it up.
As a right end or a defensive end, you're keeping up with Saquon.
You ever seen Terminator 2 with the T-1000?
Yes.
He looked like running, chasing behind the car, bro. That was a monster. I don't know. I'm taking Washington. I feel like it's going to be a close game. I feel like it's going to be just one field goal. But I'm taking Washington, man.
But the Bills are a 7-point favorite, but I think it's closer than that. I really do.
Yeah, maybe the Bills win, but just by like one touchdown. Yeah. So like a 7 points. But
give it a field goal.
It's Kansas City versus LA Chargers.
Ooh. Did they beat them last year?
Give me the Chiefs.
The Chargers won the last game of the season, but they were bent. Yeah. They played the second team.
Yeah.
Well, the way the Chargers are looking, man. I don't know.
And the game they played in earlier of the year, it was close. So
give me the Chiefs. I can't count on them losing back-to-back games.
Yeah, number one.
Yeah.
And then I look at what's it called.
I think Herbert has a good game though.
Yeah, that boy can ball.
But why?
And he's still facing the Kansas City defense. So
why are they 0-2 if he can ball? That's what I don't understand.
Yes.
So we got a little power shortage.
Hey, look, Ravens win the power.
I was just about to say, hello, Ravens and 49ers again. half the stadium.
Ed Reed's only Super Bowl, despite popular opinion.
I'm happy.
Yeah. I do still think that the Chargers, they could surprise them. I think they.
I don't see the Chiefs losing back to back. That's the only reason, though. That's like the one reason I see the Chiefs winning that game. Just because I don't like as much as
I'm picking the Chiefs.
Yeah. Give me some Mahomes magic.
Thought it was out. More rabbit out of the hats.
But for the memes, if KC loses, those memes will be glorious.
Skip Bayless is gonna have a day, man. I told you. Literally just 2 games. I told you.
I think it depends on how they lose, though. Because if it's like a pick at the end of the game, then he definitely going on his rant.
Yeah.
He goes on his rant even after they won the Super Bowl.
Because he was like, he just threw it up for Tyreek to catch it.
They won the game. But he still refuses to give him credit. So I don't know.
See, the thing is, he talks out of both sides of his mouth, because even with the Buccaneers versus the Cowboys game, he's like, even though they lost, oh, them Cowboys.
What does that even mean? You literally lost the game. But still, I don't know.
He's the king of moral victories when it's for him, but if it's for anybody else, nope.
Doesn't matter.
Nope.
You lost that game.
Arizona versus Jacksonville.
Arizona. That's that NFC champion. That's that. What's it called? No,
Trevor Lawrence. Oh my goodness.
They're not about to lose now. If they're 0-2 right now, let's get. Sorry, 2-0. 2-0. Let's get some more. Yeah.
Man, Trevor Lawrence about to go 0-3. This is probably the most games he's lost in a row, ain't it?
He hasn't lost any games.
He's never lost anything in a row.
But he's
anything
lost.
at all.
He lost to he lost to somebody in the
but he doesn't lose in the regular season. He's never lost.
So if you
exactly,
lose in the playoffs,
but that's my thing. So he lost in the playoffs, but that's only one loss because the next season you just come back.
Technically, yes.
So this is the longest losing streak he's had.
Yeah.
Welcome to the NFL, buddy. And there are already rumors about his coach wanting to go back to college. See, this is what happens when you kick the Christian off the team. Let it be known out there. Put it out in the world. You kick the Christian off the team, take the players out of the team. Go 0-7.
I don't think he's the only Christian on the team.
It doesn't matter. He was
the most vocal.
That's going to be my catchphrase. Take the Christian out of the team. Get ready to go 0-17. Come on.
This guy. Lyrics. Bars. They haven't won a game since that first game where they're like, let's get this going. I remember they tweeted out there like, we ain't stopping here or something like that. And they haven't won a game since.
They stopped there.
They definitely stopped there.
They never started.
Chicago Bears versus Cleveland Browns.
Give me Justin Fields.
I'd love Justin Fields to go off, but I don't think that's possible.
There's no way.
There's no way he's beating the Browns. That's a good roster, man. That's a really solid.
As much as I like Fields, I
know.
he needs to improve on.
Prove us wrong, Justin. If you hear this pod in the next 24 hours, go out there and prove us wrong.
Hashtag it.
I'd love to see it.
Listen,
I'd love to see it.
To answer your question about the backs, honestly, Christian McCaffrey, if he had a Kareem Hunt, those guys would be formidable.
He don't need. If he had Nick Chubb, because he pretty much does what Kareem Hunt does.
But that's what I'm saying. If he had somebody of that caliber,
else,
my gosh, those guys.
Thunder and lightning type of thing.
Yeah,
James and John, Boanerges, Sons of Thunder. Biblical reference for those.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we got Browns. We're all picking Browns.
As much as I don't like.
All right. Broncos versus Jets.
Which are Broncos and Jets? Yeah. Give me some of that two-glove Teddy, bro.
Believe it or not, this is the biggest spread of the week.
I believe it. We mean believe it or not. Why would I not believe it? It's the Jets.
Well, I would have thought KC over the Chargers would have been a bigger
it's the Jets.
Or even the Cardinals versus Jaguars.
The Jets.
Worst team in the NFL.
By a large.
I still think the Giants are worse.
No, because I still think no.
The Giants made it a game against them. Who were they playing again? Was it the Eagles?
The Washington.
Against the Washington, they made it
down
a game.
To the wire.
Bro,
the Jets, obviously, it was close with New England, but that team is just destined for
that. Broncos, though.
Broncos are good. I mean, we'll see what happens with
when they face KC. When they
Judy's injured right now.
So. He got injured.
Yeah, so Cortland Sutton's
lost. Cortland when they got him back. Yeah.
Well, that guy. They make their good duo, is what I'm saying. Because he's gonna get a lot more coverage.
Judy's more a slot guy. Cortland Sutton's he's like the outside guy. Make the big play. It's a wash of a game. Dolphins versus Raiders. I'm taking Raiders still. Tua's playing.
Out for a hot.
Jacoby Brissett, a former Patriot.
Ribs. Kobe Brissett. Gotta go with the Raiders. Can't believe they're gonna go 3-0.
I like Ruggs. I think Ruggs is finally finding himself now. I like Ruggs. Waller's still there. I need Waller to have a big game. He sold me out last week in fantasy, but
he's your tight end?
Yeah, he's my tight end in fantasy.
Nice. He's actually a really good tight end, man.
He's top 3.
Yeah.
He's top 3.
Oh, he's the third after the
Kelsey. I have Kelsey Kittle and then Waller right now. Wow. Mark Andrews is in there.
How did you get all 3?
Well, no. I'm saying for the top.
Top 3 in the NFL.
I was gonna say
you're absolutely
absolute garbage. Just take them on the first round.
In terms of tight ends, right now I have Kelsey, Kittle.
Waller. And then Mark Andrews is like honorable.
Mark Andrews, he's right there.
But
it's mostly production for him. That's why he's not in that top 3. But I mean,
All right. Seattle versus Minnesota. This is a 2-point spread right now.
For
I think it's
Seattle?
because
For
Seattle's
Seattle.
showing last week because of the lead they gave up.
I guess they assume Dalvin Cook might have a game.
Yeah, so they're assuming if what's name can do that, they're
Thielen
hoping.
is there. Justin Jefferson still there.
DK Metcalf needs to break out. I'm gonna go.
Yeah,
with
what happened to this whole Megatron Jr. nonsense?
He's still there, man. He just
Tyler
hasn't had
Lockett. I
2 weeks.
believe that Tyler Lockett, just like from a skill standpoint, is still better than DK Metcalf is.
Yes.
But size,
Okay, he's
Raw
just
size
a
and
physical
power.
freak. He's a
Yeah.
physical
Yeah.
freak.
Tyler Lockett is like
yeah.
breaking in and out of. He's this. You know what's insane? Every time I see Tyler Lockett score a touchdown, he's at least like 40 feet away from the DB. I'm like, where is the coverage? Like, is it either he's that fast or he just breaks?
Well, look
His route is
who's throwing him the ball. Like the Wilson just puts the ball right in the bucket where all he has to do is run the rest of the way.
They're not even close. Like they're literally like they show the camera, like obviously the end zone one's the red zone, but I'm talking about like he's literally
That's true.
20 yards, throws it 80 yards, and I'm just like, fam, DBs, where are you at? But I don't know.
It helps when you have somebody who can put it in the perfect spot for you. Like I said, if DK went to any other team, he doesn't have the notoriety he has now at this point.
Yeah.
And that's not a knock on DK. That's just showing how good of Wilson is. They like him going to Russell Wilson was the best
in
thing.
the NFL.
I think he throws the best deep pass in the NFL.
True.
Yes.
Yeah. I think what's name throws the easiest.
That one just it just soars, man.
It's like it's a parabola.
Yes.
And I remember that from grade 10. It's literally just up, down, right into the guy's hand.
Yeah.
That's unlimited for you, Sierra.
For the first 10 weeks until he starts turning over the ball.
And then what happens? Oh, wait.
He comes limited.
I'm pregnant. I gotta leave.
He does it every year. He has an amazing, MVP? Is this the front runner MVP? And then it's like, Wilson, where'd you go? And then somebody else just sneaks it away from him. Man.
Goes back to bed with Sierra. That's
what I was just about to say.
Stops reading the playbook.
Gotta go back to the wifey. His ring.
All right. And Packers 49ers. That's the Sunday night football game.
That's a tough one.
I'm going
49ers
Niners.
are not joking
I'm going
around
Niners
right
still.
now.
I'm going
They
Niners.
got Kittle back.
I think they're reminding people that it was just injuries why they didn't play last year. Yep. And Kittle was injured for most of the season last year too. Mm-hmm. So and they've had Aaron's number in you even go back to 2012. Colin Kaepernick cooked them twice back-to-back years. And then 2 years ago, Aaron had that horrendous Monday game. And then he had the
NFC Championship.
He got his revenge last year, but he got it against the hobbled team.
Yeah, he got it against Nick Mullins. Who? Nick Mullins. Who? Nick Mullins.
You know, Nick Mullins.
Come on. So, is that really revenge?
How long do you think till we see Trey Lance, though? That's the question.
Nah, Trey Lance is gonna sit this whole season unless what's name gets injured.
I saw he was getting some snaps, but it's they don't really have him throwing the ball like that.
Yeah, well, Garoppolo hasn't done anything to make you want to sub him off. You know what I mean? Sit him on the bench.
Yeah,
that's
not like Andy Dalton.
Garoppolo.
That's what I'm saying.
The major thing against Garoppolo has always been his health. Outside of the pass he missed to Sanders, there's never been a question of, is he good or bad? He's always been a serviceable, but it's just that his health has always been the deterrent. Sorry.
Seems that teams also don't like his dating habits either, but
listen, let the man
porn star Jimmy.
Let the man live, okay?
Man's experimenting.
He's out here. He might be converting these women. You never know.
So who you guys got? Niners, Packers?
Niners.
You're
going Niners?
Okay. I want to say Packers because I feel like we may still be sleeping on the Packers. The Packers aren't going to the playoff Super Bowl, but I feel like they're still gonna be.
Aaron's still there.
It's still gonna be a respectable.
I mean, but does he care? That's the good question.
Nah, he does. He does.
He wants to, but at the same time, it's like he doesn't want to give a ring to these ungrateful cretins, for a lack of a better word.
I mean, they literally said, "We will not give you any opinion for 10 years. Whatever you get, deal with it. What you get."
I mean, hey, they gave him Devontae Adams. I mean, he can't complain that much. Sorry.
That's true. So the complaint should stop, right?
But nobody knew Devontae was gonna be this nice when he first started out, though. So,
yeah, that's true.
What was he drafted in the first round?
Pretty sure he was a second rounder.
He was a second. Dang.
He was a second.
I'm starting to realize first round wide receivers. Who are they?
They're hit and miss. They're hit and miss more times.
Is Justin Jefferson there? He's their first round?
He was a first rounder, yeah.
And it's like Jalen Waddle, what's his name? Devontae Smith, they're all first round?
Yep. Chase was a first round.
Yeah. I guess they're there. Because you've seen some pretty good second and third round wide receivers, is what I'm trying to say.
Well, because those are the ones who got a chip on their shoulder.
Yep.
Wide receiver with a chip on his shoulder, it might be like one of the deadliest.
Mm-hmm.
So they ignored all that diva stuff. All the
once they start working. I'm telling you, man. Once
work on the craft.
That work, man.
Absolutely. Once you find them at Sobeys, bagging groceries, like my boy Thielen.
Because they're not trying to go back. Exactly. They get a little taste of the NFL. They don't want to go back. They fighting tooth and nail. The dudes who fighting for a spot on the team, those are the hardest working guys.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And last but not least, we got the Philadelphia Eagles versus
it's my team.
Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, isn't this a repeat of something?
Is it?
I mean, they play in the same division. They play each other like twice a year.
Right? You're right. They're always repeating it. So I thought they played in the playoffs one time, but no, never mind.
I am rooting for Jalen Hurts.
Both of them, right?
I am rooting for Jalen Hurts
all day, baby, all day.
I've been a Jalen Hurts fan for a while, and I like Devontae Smith. I personally thought he should have got drafted before Chase did, but I guess they saw something in Chase from his tape last year, and they're like, yeah, we can't go around with him. Like, even I'm pretty sure Waddle went before Devontae did too.
Well, wasn't Devontae injured at the end of their season?
No, it was Waddle. Waddle and Devontae were on the same team, and because Waddle got hurt, that's why Devontae was able to capitalize on that and put up the numbers he did.
I see. I thought maybe because he was injured, they were like, let's take it.
Waddle came back in the championship game and he tried to gut it out, but
that was such a power. That team was so unfair. I never realized how stacked college teams are.
Najee Harris, they had Waddle, they had Devontae, Mac Jones.
Exactly.
Alabama, that's what they do.
Bama boys.
Hey, college is not about fairness. It's not about
who can recruit the best.
It literally isn't. They literally come to your house and say, "You're coming to this school.
We got the best system for you."
But they don't have animation. I don't care. You're dropping that program. You're coming into football.
By the way, your mother's bills are paid.
That's true.
Just randomly. Good Samaritan.
It wasn't us though, because that's illegal.
Who knows?
You're talking about.
We wouldn't pay you. We just happen to have all your bills paid for the rest of your life.
They just don't exist anymore.
Yeah. So who you guys got?
I'm going Eagles, man, all day, every day. Waddle, Rager, Smith, Rager.
It all depends how well they guard Amari.
I don't think that they will. I think that.
You're right. This is a different Cowboys team.
I think the Cowboys are going to be.
And CD lying, according to Skip Bayless, because he's not a lamb when he catches the ball. He's not a lamb. When he catches the ball, he's a lion.
Well, I'm not going to lie. Did you guys remember that last catch he made in the end of the first half?
Yes.
That was special.
And good.
That what's going to tell you ruins it. But that was almost.
By the way, CD Lamb, another Alabama guy.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm chopped. Sorry,
I'm going.
He was Oklahoma. I'm chopped. Sorry.
Sooners?
College fans. Sorry. You know why I was thinking that? It's because I remember CD Lamb. He played with Hurts, and Hurts was on Alabama at one point. So that's my fault.
Oklahoma.
He was with Alabama, then he transferred to Oklahoma because Tua.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Disflux.
Even though I still think Hurts is better than Tua, that's neither here nor there.
Well, one's got stronger ribs than the other, so it is here and there.
Left-handed quarterbacks get different levels of attention. It's different.
Yeah. And I think it's also different for the receiver as well because the spin is different. The spin on the ball is different.
Yeah.
But that's something that you can easily practice. That shouldn't be too much.
But I'm going Cowboys.
You think
No wonder none of my wide receivers used to catch my pass.
You're left-handed, Big T?
How did you not know this?
I'm lefty too, man.
Yes, well, I know you are left-handed.
What do you mean?
David's left-handed too.
Ambidextrous, but
Well, quiet.
Whatever, it's close enough.
Was born with
Yes, sir. Both hands equally competent.
See, I would have been the perfect quarterback for you if I could actually throw past 20 yards.
Hey, man, it is what it is.
That's why
I've seen those arms, T. I'm pretty sure you can pass more than 20 yards.
No,
it's all technique, brother.
It's all technique. There's too much power in my hand, so it just goes.
But you could probably throw a missile though.
In one of those, those small Nerf buns?
Oh,
one of those ones. Those ones with the spiral joints. The glow in the dark. What do they call those buns? Nerf? No, is it Nerf?
I forget what it was called. Yeah, it was a Nerf. It was a Nerf though.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all the teams for this week. Is there anything else y'all would like to say before we wrap it up? We've been here for 2 hours now.
That's what happens when Dave comes in.
Oh, there's more voices. There's more voices we need to hear.
I love it. Dave, Saturday nights after Sabbath, pray, pod. That's what we do.
Oh man. Well, that was our official episode 2 if you were watching this on the YouTube, but we've been uploading a lot of our stuff on Anchor as well. Anchor provides it to all the other podcasts like Google, Spotify, iTunes, a couple of those other lower name podcasts as well. We're on there. Just, we don't discriminate. Absolutely. Appreciate you guys who've been watching on the tubes as well. We appreciate it. Appreciate Big Dave for being here with us finally. Because he's been ducking us,
Actually.
You man went to play volleyball instead of being here with the men there.
Hey, we're exposing. All right.
Hey man, sports.
You said it last week.
I did say it.
Sports are my life, man. Sports are my life.
Hey man, you do what you gotta do.
Listen, if you're talking about it or playing it, as long as it's part of your life.
Yes, sir.
I got ball tomorrow morning, so
Yeah, me too.
Serious?
Me too. 10-1.
9 a.m., brother.
I'm drawing tomorrow.
And Big T, one of us is gonna be very happy or very disappointed after tomorrow.
I'm a very emotional fan, so you already know how I feel doing Saints games. I have not accepted that our team may not be a playoff team anymore. So
tragic.
For me, it's still Super Bowl or bust. So you know how that feels every loss.
Yeah,
that's right. You heard me, David. Super Bowl or bust.
Well,
even with Jameis.
I mean, division title? Can we talk about that first?
We're sick of title that we have like 17 hanging from the Raptors of the Superdome. We need the Lombards.
If you just didn't have a dome, you might have had a better chance. But that's neither here nor there.
I mean, the dome did help out that dome merchant. Man didn't have to play in inclement weather for 50% of the season. Those balls won't be fluttering when you're playing inside with no draft or anything.
Here we go. Listen, we had enough draft.
Listen, Big T.
That's all the draft we need.
Listen, Big T, I'm going to tell you right now. I have no way to prove it, but I guarantee you that percentage number would have took a little bit of a hit.
No way to
just a little bit of a hit if he was playing in the outdoors where, a little rain could flutter that ball or the wind can move it just a little bit.
Listen. It's wrong to speak ill of the dead, okay? Drew Brees' career is now...
Drew Brees died?
It's in Valhalla. No, he's still alive.
How can I not
I'm
find
saying his
this
career.
Yo, nah. His career's on Midgard right now. It's time to show up.
It's with the Montanas, all right? It's partying in heaven. So we will not talk about
We're now
what
looking back on
where not should have happened, what might have happened. I had to let that go, okay? I had to let that go. Tom Brady took that away from me. So it will now be what is present, and that is touchdown famous Jameis. And you guys should be happy. Like, you guys should want the black quarterback to win comeback quarterback of the year. Come on.
Well, I'm a famous Jameis guy.
What'd you say, David?
Just not today.
Half the quarterbacks in the league are black.
I know, but he's the only one that the whole planet is rooting against, okay? Everybody else is Mahomes, Lamar.
I think there's a lot of people rooting against Dak Prescott as well, but that's
Dak Prescott
and the other number 4 that's currently not playing in Houston.
Tyrod. Oh, Tyrod.
Not that one. Number 4.
Oh,
yeah.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, Deshaun's got problems. Okay, there's no.
That man's a serial massage getter. Serial massage.
I thought you were gonna say something else.
Massage.
Yeah, the massage. Wait.
Hey man, look, this man is just trying to return some massages or something. I don't know.
Anyways,
I don't know what that guy thinks he's doing.
Lovely people, I need to go edit this video for you guys so that y'all can listen to it between now and tomorrow. And for those who watch it after the fact, sorry. I want to say afterwards and after the fact, so it just said after the words.
After the words,
yeah. But we appreciate you guys who watch it, even if it's not during the week that we're talking about it. We appreciate that. That does still help with.
That's why it's called overtime. We're over the time.
Yes, sir.
If we called ourselves first things first, we'd be completely wrong.
We'd be. Was it false advertising?
False advertising, exactly. Sad that you had to end the football topic on assault allegations, but that's overtime for you, baby. Yeah.
Well, appreciate you guys for listening or watching. This is Overtime with B and T, and sometimes D. Signing out.
The D is silent.
The D is silent. I don't like how that sounded. Right before we signed up, this guy had to add in the pause moment. All right, guys, have a good night.